September 7th, they're offering 0%, 72-month financing on all 2021 F-150s in stock. See dealer for details. Nick Abraham Elyria Ford has the new 2022 models rolling onto the lot. Or choose from their $6 million used car inventory. Visit Nick Abraham Elyria Ford.
It'll become a priority real quick.
Proud to be the Ford President's Award winner 5 years in a row.
That perfect drive right down the field is usually a balance of runs and passes.
Oh, Dave, sorry about that. So you've got all three now, right?
Range independent agent about
in duplicate, unfortunately.
Well, that's all right.
Center
Better to have too many than not enough.
That balances competitive rates and responsive Grange claim service. Call Cobos Insurance Center today at 324-3732 or visit their website at cobosins.com.
Products not available in all states.
If you're in a car accident, you know the insurance companies have lawyers looking out for them. So let our experienced injury attorneys look out for you. Gallon, Tackus, and Boisenall. 440-538-6033.
I had to play one more to queue up the scene setter.
Okay,
and
that's
often
fine.
deadly.
That's fine.
Insurance companies pressure you to settle quickly. Our experienced trial attorneys can battle insurance companies for you. It's what we do. Gallon, Tackus, and Boisenall. 440-538-6033. GallonLaw.com.
From George Daniel Field on Oberlin Avenue in Lorain, Ohio. Good Friday evening.
Well, I had to play something really quick.
Three of high school football on AM 930 and 100.3 WEOL. Tonight here at George Daniel, it'll be Lorain High in their first home game of the 2021 campaign, taking on the Elyria High Pioneers. Elyria coming in unbeaten on the year. Pioneers at 2-0. Lorain still looking for that first victory. The Titans are 0-2. Great to have you with us on the Cobos Insurance Center pregame show. Again, the Cobos Insurance Center pregame brought to you by the Cobos Insurance Center, your Grange independent agent in Elyria and now Avon Lake. Tim Elkhorn along with Gary Pelter. Craig Couch will be roaming the sidelines tonight here at George Daniel. And guys, as you look at this matchup tonight, as I mentioned on the WEOL morning show this morning, two teams in essence going in the opposite direction, and we'll hear from both coaches in just a few minutes. But boy, let's start with Lorain High. They've got a huge challenge. They didn't play football in 2020. First-year head coach in Damian Creel, and this is their home opener tonight. So we'll see if they can respond to that, but it's been tough sledding so far. Gary?
I was going to say, you didn't mention that they've had some injuries, too. So you got to add all those factors together, and it doesn't bode well for a Titans ball club. They are playing their first home game tonight, and they're looking forward to turning things around.
And of course, Craig, when we talk about Lorain, we talk about the fact that not only did they lose a year of football, and you feel horrible for the players, but they lost all that preparation, all that experience, practice time, game time, film sessions. That's more than just 1 year to bounce back from.
You know, Tim, we've seen what the death penalty can do to a college football team. Well, this is almost like the high school equivalent, the fact that they didn't play it all last year. And like you said, didn't work out, didn't practice, didn't study the playbook, so on and so forth. I mean, the task that head coach Damian Creel has in front of him is immense. But maybe, just maybe, playing in front of the home crowd for the first time this year, looking to get that first win in 2 years at their own home stadium, maybe that'll give them just a little extra motivation here tonight to beat Elyria and get that win against their Lorain County rival here at their home field.
Now, Gary, you were, I'll just say it that way, you were where Craig Couch will be tonight on the sidelines a couple of weeks ago.
That's professional.
When we had Elyria in their opener rally to beat Elyria Catholic.
Award-winning.
Into tonight's ball game. They appear to be heading in the right direction under third-year head coach Devlin Culliver.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tim. Elyria was down 15-0 in that third quarter play. Since then, they haven't looked back. They played some great football, and I'm sure they're you want to continue their momentum going into that ball game tonight. They played some really good football in the last.
I'm not sure. I think it's
5 quarters.
It's Mighty Pelt.
There's no doubt about that. And Craig, I know you're a young man that does your homework. You study up. So as you've delved into the Elyria team and getting ready for the ball game tonight, what stands out to you as far as the Pioneers are concerned?
I got 0 pointing going on Twitter.
Head coach Culver earlier this week mentioned that from last year to this year, they simplified the offense. He feels like he has a talent on both sides of the football, but offensively, he said, you know what, we're going to simplify things. We've got playmakers. Let's just get the ball into their hands and let them do their thing.
Well, I was looking at it,
I think
and
that
then we got into the important
so
Twitter
far in the first 2
discussion,
games of the year.
I didn't see it.
I'm sure that's not going to change here tonight. He's going to put the ball in the hands of his playmakers and let them do their thing.
All right, we'll see how it plays out. That is Gary Pelter and Craig Couch as we get ready for action here at George Daniel Field. We'll take a timeout on the Cobos Insurance Center pregame show. When we come back, we'll hear from the coaches. First up, Devlin Culliver, third-year head coach at Elyria High. Our conversation with the head coach of the Pioneers follows this timeout in the WEOL Gridiron Clash. It's on AM 930 and FM 100.3 WEOL. It's on the WEOL mobile app. And Craig, we're online
at WEOL.com.
Do another 4.
All right.
Getting the hang of this now?
Hi, I'm Tim Elkhorn. I trust Jamie's Carpet Shop and will never shop anywhere else. Why? Jamie's Carpet Shop has been locally owned and operated for over 50 years. Some of Jamie's employees have been there for over 20 years.
Let's not play Elyria.
Jamie's Carpet Shop offers lifetime warranties, their own design and carpet cleaning services, and Jamie's Carpet Shop is proud to
Jamie's
support Second Harvest Food Bank. I chose Jamie's to install my flooring, and you should too. Visit Jamie's in Amherst, Elyria, and Sandusky.
Looking for the fastest and most affordable way to a bachelor's or master's degree? Lorain County Community College offers more than 100 general education classes that easily transfer to any college or university. And our university partnership gives you a direct path to the degree you want from the college of your choice. The best part? You can save up to $74,000. Save time, save money, get ahead. Make this your year. Enroll today.
Your home should be comfortable. Call Luxury Heating Company, your local trained comfort specialist. Family owned and operated since 1947, Luxury Heating Company is known for honest service, friendly customer care, quality craftsmanship, and reliable products. And Luxury now offers air duct cleaning. Call now or on the web.
So Devlin's the first coach?
Yes, Devlin Culliver.
From rising energy costs
two on
with a new high-efficiency train comfort system from Luxury.
I don't see it.
Seg 2.
This is the Cobos Insurance Center pregame show on AM 930 and 100.3 FM WEOL.
Welcome back to George Daniel Field in Lorain. Tim Elkhorn along with Gary Pelter and Craig Couch. We're on the field for the Cobos Insurance Center pregame show brought to you by the Cobos Insurance Center, your local Grange independent agent in Elyria and now Avon Lake. Nice enough to stop by and pay us a visit is Devlin Culliver, the head coach of the Elyria High Pioneers. And I would imagine he's feeling pretty good about himself and his football team right now as they come into tonight's matchup at 2-0. And Coach, we were chatting before we rolled here. We had the opening week win over EC when you rallied from the 15-point deficit. And then last week, a gritty, hard-fought win over Bedford, 14-6 to get to 2-0. Could you just kind of tell us what you feel about your football team right now? Where do you feel they're at as they get ready for this Lorain High team tonight?
We're in a good spot right now. Like I said, being 2-0 is always a good thing. And I'm just proud of our kids because they continue to fight every week. It's been 2 tough games, and we're a lot different than we were in the past. As far as keep pushing and keep fighting, to finish the game. Whether you win or lose, us going to keep fighting and play hard.
Coach, you were teetering against EC down 15-0, and then the big play to Andrew Palos, and that really seemed to charge your team. Boy, can the momentum of one play 2 weeks ago just keep on carrying a football team through?
Yes, our kids look to Palos to make things happen, and they get excited when he gets the ball because they know at any point in time, he can take it the distance. That's what he did. And
all right, guys.
Spark, our confidence shot to the roof.
Pay attention.
Well, there's no doubt about it. And, Coach, defensively, you only gave up 15 to EC, 6 last week to Bedford.
I got one
sleep on that side of the ball. What's your team doing defensively?
Well, it looks stupid. It looks totally stupid.
That's the worst problem you got.
Our kids get excited about playing defense. What you want. If you look at any good team, their defense always runs to the ball and they get excited about tackling people. That's what our kids are looking.
Coach, when you look at Lorain High tonight, certainly Damien's got a tough challenge. You've lost a year of football, and it's a lot more than just losing 10 football games as far as the program is.
I put a lot of your shots on the screen. So. I already did. What if Jerry got that? Oh, he's busy with that drones. I already killed him. So my battery's not on less than 20%. So that's what I did. If you want to watch the game up here, I'll try to do that window so I have a complete view of the field. Yeah. I mean, if not, that's always a good. Jay. Get no idea what trying to fast track. It's the same one as the
Welcome back to George Daniel Field in Lorain. Tim Elkhorn along with Gary Pelter. And we're back up in the press box here at George Daniel. Down on the field is Craig Couch, as he has stayed there and he will remain there for the duration of the ball game tonight. Lorain and Elyria, and Gary Pelter is a Lorain guy. Just saying those two words, Lorain, Elyria, it kind of gets the juices flowing. This rivalry goes a long way back. Of course, Lorain versus Elyria was halted for several years when there was Southview and Admiral King, and then when those two schools merged to become Lorain again, hence the rivalry was renewed. And it's always special, whether it's Friday night on a football field or a basketball court or a diamond on the baseball or softball side. Elyria, Lorain, it gets both communities fired up.
Yeah, you talk about Elyria and Lorain, also, Lorain and Elyria and Admiral King as well. It's all kind of merged together here in Lorain, but yeah, there's definitely a rivalry feel and a good atmosphere this evening for tonight's ball game.
Yeah, the home opener for Lorain High. And Craig Couch, you talked about that down on the field before the ball game, the fact that this is the first time in 2 years that the Titans have played a game before the home fans.
Yeah, Tim, you know, this is a ball club that's inexperienced and, like you said, haven't played in 2 years, haven't worked out together in a long time. They missed a whole year of football, but they're back in front of their hometown fans here tonight on their home field, and maybe playing in front of their fans for the first time in a couple years will give them a little extra boost and make this a competitive game.
Well, let's get this one underway. The Titans will kick off and defend the goal to our left. Elyria will receive. They'll be going right to left along your radio dial. The Pioneers will be heading towards the scoreboard and the flag down to our left. The opening kickoff brought to you by EcoTree Services. Complete tree care is more than removing problem trees. Learn more at ecotreeservices.com. It's week 3, 2-0 Elyria against 0-2 Lorain. Titans in their home blue uniforms. They've got the blue tops with the white letters and numbers, silver trim and silver pants. Elyria in the road whites. Kickoff hanging down to the right side. It's Jaden Gilbert on the return, heads to the middle of the field, and he's got room out to the 30, 35, 40, turns the corner to the 45, to the 50, and finally shoved out of bounds into the Lorain bench right down below us as he got knocked out as he crossed the 50. Let's see where they spot him out at about the 45-yard line. A terrific return for Elyria to start the ball game as they will have their opening drive commence on the Lorain side of the 50-yard line, although way back at the 25 over on the opposite side of the field. We've got a penalty flag, and instead of Elyria starting on the Lorain side of the 50, Gary, they're going to be pushed back inside their own 20 on a holding call to the 15-yard line.
And that may have been something that helped spring him on that return, though. I'll tell you what, Tim, he ran out of width on the field because there really wasn't anybody that had a real good angle on tackling him. He was just trying to get wide to get that sideline trek going, and just barely got pushed out of bounds, Tim.
So a big break for Lorain High as Elyria gets penalized on the opening kickoff, wiping out a great return. And now as Elyria lines up for play number 1, we'll set that Pioneer offense for you. They rotate 2 quarterbacks, and we saw this in week 1 when we did the game against Elyria Catholic. Desmond Whitfield, a 5'8 senior, along with Ryan Klotz, a 5'6 junior, will both see action at QB. And right now we've got Ryan Klotz in at quarterback, the 5'6 junior. He's got Lance Glover standing right next to him as Klotz operates out of that pistol formation. Klotz turns, throws, and it's incomplete as he tried to hit it to Jalen Brown over on the far sideline. Before we get our second down play, let's pause for station identification. You're listening to the WEOL Gridiron Clash.
WEOL, Elyria, Lorain, Medina.
Second down and 10 for Elyria. Pioneers starting at their own 15-yard line after a great kickoff return by Jaden Gilbert was wiped out due to a holding call. So it's now second down and 10. 4 receivers in the ball game for Elyria, 2 to the left and the right. Inside handoff goes to Glover. Glover pounding his way, but he's upended at about the 17-yard line. It'll be a short gain of 2 will bring up 3rd down and 8 for Elyria. Let's set that Pioneer offensive line for you. Connor Fees is the center. Big young man, 270-pound senior. Even bigger than him, left guard Xander Lowry, 310-pound senior. The left tackle is Joe Malenko, 240-pound junior. The right guard, Marky Boone, 275-pound junior. And the right tackle, he's the small guy in the bunch, Tyler Thompson, 235-pound senior. Boy, the Pioneers are big up front. 3rd and 8 from the 17-yard line. Quick throw to the left, completed to Gilbert, and then he dropped it. Boy, Gilbert, I think Gary tried to turn and run with the football before he had it.
Yeah, Elyria that time they lined up with 1 wide receiver to the right, 3 to the left, and they looked like they were setting up a wide receiver screen, but he couldn't hold on to that football out there, and it's going to bring up the first punting situation of the evening, and Elyria is set to punt that ball out of the shadow of their own goalpost, Tim.
So Lorain should end up with good field position now, as DJ Williams is standing at about the 50-yard line. High snap, but the punter gets it down and gets it away. It'll bounce at the 42. Williams, boy, dangerous play, scooped it up, and then he got knocked out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. So it'll be Lorain football indeed. The Titans with good field position for their first possession of the night, as Lorain High will start. Let's see where they put it, at about the 39-yard line. Well, Gary, as always, when we're here in Lorain or covering Lorain sports, it's good to have WLCS TV 20. Lorain City Schools Television tapping into our audio feed. Joe Bach, yeah, he's called out of retirement. Bach is back. They should have bumper stickers in Lorain. Bach is back on WLCS TV 20. But great to have the folks from WLCS utilizing our audio feed tonight. First down and 10 for Lorain High. The ball is at the Elyria 39-yard line. Just underway, 10:54 to go here in the first quarter of play. Elyria went 3 and out on their first possession. Joseph Wyatt is the Titan quarterback, and after a look to the right and hanging onto the football, he circles back, comes up the middle, short gain of about 1 to the 38. Second down and 1 for Lorain. They're going left to right on your radio dial, heading towards the parking lot down to our right, where cars are still pulling in. So all those cars that are pulling into the lot, hopefully they're dialed in to AM 930 or FM 100.3 WEOL. Late arriving crowd, as they say. 2nd and 9. Joseph Wyatt with a handoff, as coming in motion to the right was, I believe that was Hagler.
I believe so. Pickup of about 3 on that one.
To the 35-yard line. And it'll be 3rd down and 7. Lorain going without a huddle. Jacob Addis is their center, a senior at 270. Racy Perez, a sophomore, is the left guard. Anthony Poole, a senior, at right guard. Evan Horofkik is the sophomore left tackle, and Demarion Rivera, senior, right tackle. 3rd down play, ball resting at the 35-yard line. 3rd and about 6, as Joseph Wyatt, 6-foot sophomore, awaits the snap. And now we'll have an illegal procedure call against
and that's going to be too much time, Tim. They shifted, they moved people around in the backfield, they moved them back to the original position, and you just sat there. I was looking for the play clock. I couldn't find it out there, but it was inevitable that eventually they were going to have a delay of game.
So now we've got a 3rd down and 11. Robert Gonzalez is the lone back, as he is right behind Joseph Wyatt. Boy, Joe's a big kid, sophomore. Hands off to Gonzalez, turns the corner right side, slides inside the 40 before he's brought down on the near sideline at about the 36-yard line. And that'll set up a 4th down and about 7 for Lorain High. And there's no hesitation from the Titan side. They're going for it. As with under 9 minutes to go here in the first quarter of play, Lorain High at the Elyria 36-yard line. Need to get that ball just inside the 30, between the 30 and the 29 for a 1st down. And it'll be Joseph Wyatt, the sophomore quarterback, with a 4-receiver set and a wing. And now we'll get a timeout taken by Lorain High. We'll keep it right here with 8:40 to go, first quarter of play. No score. Elyria went 3 and out on their first possession. Looked like the Pioneers were going to have great field position to start the ball game after the opening kickoff, but after Jaden Gilbert returned it to the Lorain High 45, Elyria got called for a holding penalty, and they were forced to start at their own 15. They went 3 and out, punted away, and now Lorain High, after getting the ball in great field position, facing a 4th and a long 6, short 7 at the Elyria 36.
I was going to say, Lorain started at the Elyria 39. They've only been able to move the ball 3 yards here, starting out with the great opportunity. See what they're going to do here on 4th down. Playing a little bit of the game of field position here, but we'll see what they do.
Let's head down to the sideline, get a real quick update from Craig Couch before Lorain snaps on 4th and 6. Craig?
Guys, we talked to Damian Creel before the start of the game, and he said the kids' confidence wavers at time. I tell you what, getting a first down here would be a huge boost to that confidence, and I think a quick start for Lorain is vitally important.
Boy, great point. In motion to the left goes Hagler. Wyatt fakes the throw to the right, now weaves his way to the left, and down he goes. He's sacked at the 40-yard line. And coming up with the sack for Elyria High, as he made life very uncomfortable for Wyatt, Anthony Tipton, 265-pound senior. Tipton came barreling in, and Wyatt went down, and the ball will change hands. Elyria will get it starting at their own 41-yard line, first down and 10. 8:33 to go, first quarter. Elyria coming in at 2-0. Pioneers with wins over Elyria Catholic and Bedford. Lorain 0-2. Looking for that first win for their first-year head coach, Damian Creel. Lorain with their home opener, and then they go right back on the road next Friday night when they're at Bedford. So Elyria first down and 10 at their own 41-yard line. Well, just about in the middle of the field. Klotz turns, hands off. That's Lucky. Lucky hit and dropped in the backfield. Jasir Lucky, the junior, was heading towards the far side, and Lorain High crashed that play, Gary. Good stop by the Titans defense as they throw Lucky for a loss.
Well, it's early on, Tim, in the ball game, but if you're going to say that anything is shined so far, it's been the defenses. Both defenses playing very nicely.
By the way, Craig's last sideline report was brought to you by, well, it was brought to you by somebody. I know it was. There you go, Stewart Appliance, the name brand you trust. Side handoff, and Glover barrels his way up the middle to the 47-yard line. So we got the lost yardage back and quite a bit more, as Lance Glover, with a nice run there to the 46, is where they will mark it. Makes it 3rd down and 5. But yes, the sideline report brought to you by Stewart's, the name brand you trust. Free delivery, financing, and they service what they sell. Stewart's. They're on Cleveland Street in Elyria.
I was going to say something, but I thought maybe you knew something I didn't, so I was.
Here comes Glover again, and the big fella bangs his way up the middle over the 50 to Lorain High territory, inside the 49, close to the 48, and that'll be a first down. Well, Lance Glover, we saw him week 1 against Elyria Catholic, and that young man just got stronger and better as the game went along. Tim Gebhardt says he rushed for about 120 that night. Coming into tonight, 156 yards on 27 carries, just under 6 yards per carry. And that carry right there gives Elyria first down at the Titan 48-yard line. 6:50 and the clock running here in the first quarter, scoreless game. Here comes Glover again as he hammers the left side and drags, that was Lucky. Jasir Lucky to about the 45 with a pickup of 3. And Jasir Lucky, I believe, is now going to head to the sideline as Andrew Palos will check in, 5'7" senior. And boy, it was Palos with the key play of the season so far for Elyria. They were down 15-0 to Elyria Catholic, and the Pioneers were teetering, and then Palos hauled in an 80-yard touchdown pass from Ryan Klotz. It ignited the Pioneers, and as Gary said down on the field before the game, they haven't looked back. Inside handoff, working left side Palos, and he runs out of room. Down he goes at the 45-yard line. Boy, a nice tackle made by Tyler Costco, 5'8" junior for Lorain High as he came up and dropped Palos. And Elyria now facing a 3rd down and about 6. We're at the 6-minute mark of the first quarter. Jalen Brown, along with Palos and Jaden Gilbert, all wide to the right. That's the wide side of the field. Ball is at the left hash mark. Klotz with a look over at the sideline. 3rd down and 6 for Elyria. And now Devlin Culliver says we're taking a little too much time here. Let's get a timeout. So we'll sneak in a timeout. 5:43 to go first quarter. We're scoreless. Elyria, Lorain here at George Daniel Field in the WEOL Gridiron Clash on AM 930 and FM 100.3 and Gary online
on WEOL.com.
This year, Lorain County Community College is staging a comeback, and you're our star player. Since 1963, we've been meeting students where they
got it one,
preparing us for this moment, preparing us for you. We are ready. This is the year to show the world what you've got. This is the year to define your future. You've got this, and we've got your back. After all, we're your #1 fan. Make this your year. Enroll today.
You're listening to the WEOL Gridiron Clash.
Big play here for Elyria, 3rd down and 6. The Pioneers are at the Titan 44-yard line. Scoreless game, 5:43 to go first quarter. Great to have you with us on WEOL. It's great to be back on WEOL. Again, a huge thanks to the folks at the radio station for allowing me to drop in and call a few games this year. Here comes Glover. Big hold of the 40. And Lance Glover finally dragged down at the Titan 36-yard line. And guys, when he gets a head of steam going, he's a tough guy to bring down. Although right now he's a little slow to get up. But boy, Lance Glover, you can just see he kind of gains momentum as the yards go flying by. But Glover with a big gain right there. That moves the chains. 1st down and 10 for the Pioneers.
Second 1st down for the Pioneers in this drive.
Elyria trainer Ann Hamker comes out to take a look at Glover. He's going to hobble over to that Elyria sideline. Well, I had a chance to visit with Ann before the ball game. Just a wonderful woman. Has been the trainer for Elyria for many, many years, and one of the best in the state of Ohio. She just does a remarkable job with the athletes at Elyria. Gary, it was Ann Hamker many, many years ago that explained to me why softball pitchers can pitch all day long and never get tired, and their arm never gets sore. I'll never forget it. Inside handoff, Palos wrapped up and dropped. He fumbled the football. Palos had it knocked out of his hands. And there's a mad scramble at about the 39-yard line. And luckily for Elyria, Joe Malenko, junior left tackle, was able to come up with it. Boy, the Lorain High defense has had a couple of nice plays here early on. That time they almost forced the turnover.
Now, did they call it a fumble, or did they say that his forward momentum was stopped and the play was over? Well, it doesn't matter. It's Elyria's football anyways.
Ball at the 39-yard line because it was Malenko.
Well, yeah, it was definitely a loss of yardage for sure.
Right, 2nd and 13 at the 39-yard line. As Klotz is going to keep it himself, and he gets buried back at the 45-yard line. This is one fired up Lorain High D. Boy, the Titans defense has come up with some big plays. They're going to say Klotz's knee hit at the 43 before he fell under that avalanche of Titan tacklers at the 45. But boy, Lorain High has come out and they are flying to the football. And Elyria now with a 3rd and long, 3rd and 16 for the Pioneers with 4:10 to go here in the opening quarter. Klotz in that pistol, and before he can get the snap, we're going to have an encroachment call against Elyria. That's going to push him back another 5 yards.
Boy, Craig Couch, this is one fired up and emotional Lorain High defense so far.
Yeah, no question about it. I think you got to be impressed with the way the Titans have played so far defensively. And I can tell you down on the field here, guys, a little bit of jawboning going on between these two teams. Officials have talked to a couple of players from both sides on a couple of occasions here, telling them to cool it down a little bit. But both teams obviously very fired up for this contest.
Craig, that's Elyria Lorain. There's going to be a little chatter down there. 3rd and 21. Klotz rolling to the left, being chased. Comes back up the middle. Down he goes. All the way back in Elyria territory. The heat was on, and Klotz couldn't escape it. What a defensive series for the Titans. Elyria just kept going backwards, and now the Pioneers will be forced to punt for the second time tonight. Wow. So Elyria will be forced to punt as Omar Palos is the punter. Omar Palos, another high snap, but he got that one down. Wobbly kick. Bounces at the 30, takes a Lorain bounce and rolls dead at the 35-yard line. But that was a great defensive series for the Titans. And Craig Couch's sideline report brought to you by Stewart Appliance, the name brand you trust, free delivery, financing, and they service what they sell. Stewart's on Cleveland Street in Elyria.
Well, Tim, is good of a defensive series as it was for Lorain, and don't get me wrong, their last 3 plays were all negative yardage. I got them from -3, -8, and -5. The way the field position is gone, Elyria is still winning that battle of field position, moving the ball closer towards that goal on the other side.
Joseph Wyatt inside handoff Robert Gonzalez, and Gonzalez kind of weaves his way over the 40 to about the 42-yard line. Nice pickup of 7 for Robert Gonzalez, senior running back coming into tonight, averaging just under 5 yards per carry. Lorain High has scored 2 touchdowns this year, both from Robert Gonzalez. Of course, they've had 6 points in each of their first 2 games. Eau Falls beat them 50-6, and then Sandusky with a 36-6 win over Lorain. There's another handoff, Gonzalez, but this time he's hit and dropped in the backfield at the 36-yard line. How about Jaden Gilbert blasting through and blowing that play up? So Gilbert negates the yardage that Gonzalez picked up on the first carry. Sets up a 3rd down and 9 for Lorain. 2:10 to go, first quarter of play. Scoreless game here at George Daniel Field in Lorain. The first time that this venue has hosted high school football since 2019. Boy, for Brian Corey and everybody in the city of Lorain, what a great feeling. Handoff, Gonzalez heads to the left side, brought down in the backfield at the 32. Emery Horton, the leading tackler for Elyria, made that stop, but a very late flag on the play. I see Big Al Ivy out there. He's surveying the scene. And Lorain High is indicating it's against Elyria, but Big Al says, nope, I've got a hold against Lorain. Boy, Big Al Ivy, one of the most jovial guys you will ever see. Of course, has officiated high school football, high school basketball. He's an elite baseball umpire. I mean, Big Al has done a lot of state baseball games. I told Big Al Craig Couch is going to catch up with him tonight. We're going to get a few words from Big Al before this night is over. In the meantime, Elyria declines that penalty. Lorain will punt, and it's a high kick. Boy, well done, and it takes a great Lorain bounce inside the 25, inside the 20, down to the 18-yard line. How about that boot?
You are correct, Tim. What a great punt, and for the Lorain side, that sets up another tough field position for Elyria High. If Lorain High's defense can come to play for another series, they could be in good shape after this. On the other side of that coin, Elyria, they want to get their offense going.
So Lorain has flipped that field position that Gary talked about earlier, as now Elyria starting at their own 18-yard line, 1st down and 10. We are scoreless
here at George Daniel Field in Lorain. Great to have you with us. Tim Elkhorn, Gary Pelter in the box here at George Daniel. By the way, a newly remodeled box. Well, it's got some carpeting and some fresh paint.
They brightened it up a little bit up here.
Well, you call Joe Bach out of retirement. You say, listen, we'll even spruce up the press box for you. You know, Joe was asking for all sorts of incentives in that new contract of his.
Paint and carpet were in there? Maybe.
You're Joe Bach. You get what you want. Inside handoff, Lance Glover, and he pounds his way over the 20 to about the 22-yard line. I think I'm going to trademark the box back for Lorain City Schools and get that on bumper stickers across this great city. Inside handoff, Glover got about 4 to the 21-yard line, makes it 2nd down and 6 as we wind our way down to 1 minute to go here in the opening quarter.
Pretty rapidly played.
What is it with me doing Elyria games where they're scoreless first quarters? I did Elyria EC. We had a scoreless first half. Inside handoff, Glover, he coughed up the football. Loose on the field. Titans have it inside the 15. Glover lost the ball and out of there with it for Lorain High. Making the fumble recovery at about the 14-yard line was Jalen Delane. And the Titans are knocking on the door. Boy, we've talked about how well they've played defensively so far tonight. And there they get the turnover to set up the offense.
Well, Tim, defensively, they are flying to the football, and that time it paid dividends for them. Getting that fumble, and I thought they were going to scoop and score for a second, but nonetheless, they still have it with great field position at about the 14-yard line.
Lorain High with the ball. 1st down and 10 at the 14-yard line. And now Damian Creel just wanting to make sure everybody's on the same page. Takes a timeout. We'll keep it right here. 55 seconds to go first quarter. Lorain High off the Elyria fumble with a 1st down and 10 at the Pioneer 14-yard line. Boy, Craig Couch, I see you down there right where Lorain High is going to start this drive in the red zone. What'd you see on that fumble play?
Well, I tell you what, Tim, Glover really never had complete control of the football. It was a little bit of a bobbled handoff, and Lorain obviously now with an outstanding opportunity, and if you're the Lorain Titans, you got to come away with points following that fumble. And how about this? Twice now, Elyria has put the ball on the ground here in the first quarter.
Craig, have you noticed anything down there as far as Lorain going for that football? It appears that they've been, attacking the football when somebody's going out there and running it. Have you noticed anything in particular?
Not really, Pell. Nothing more than, just good form tackling. And, if you got a chance to wrap somebody up, you want to try to get that hand in there and punch the ball loose, and that's what they've been able to do.
1st down and 10 for Lorain at the 14-yard line of Elyria. Ball at the right hash mark. Joseph Wyatt in the pistol. Inside handoff, Gonzalez. Oh, no, Wyatt kept it himself. He faked that inside handoff, but the fake didn't fool Elyria. Now Elyria saying that Wyatt coughed up the football, and he did. So Lorain High can't take advantage of the opportunity after recovering the fumble of Elyria. The Titans turn it right back over. Oh, my. Tough blow for Lorain High, and give Elyria credit. The defense for the Pioneers comes up with the big play. Xavier Allen, I believe, was the guy at the bottom of the pile that recovered that fumble.
Tim, you saw that Wyatt, it looked like maybe he was trying to hand the ball off. Or was it a missed handoff, or was it a fake, or what? Maybe that could have been a factor in the fumbling situation.
So Lorain High had a golden opportunity to draw first blood here tonight. We are scoreless with 49 seconds to go in the first quarter. And Elyria, after the offense went to the bench in a disheartening manner, comes right back out onto the field with a 1st down and 10. The ball is at their own 13-yard line. And now the Pioneers are going to take a timeout. Boy, each coach going through their timeouts here in the first quarter of play as we've got 49 seconds to go in the period. And both Damian Creel and Devlin Culliver have burned 2 of their 3 timeouts. So again, we'll keep it right here. I want to remind you, tomorrow morning, 9 to 11, the Nick Abraham Saturday Sports Wrap-Up. It'll be Jared Kosar and Marissa McNeese. How about those two getting together for the wrap-up show tomorrow morning, 9 to 11? That'll be a good time. And then, of course, Craig Couch, you've got some play-by-play tomorrow night for high school football. Where are you venturing to on a Saturday night?
We're going out to Parma, to Byers Field, Tim. We've got the North Ridgeville Rangers taking on Normandy. North Ridgeville coming off a win last week, as is the Invaders. Both teams 1-1 on the season.
We may have to dial that one in tomorrow night. Actually, I can't do that. I'll tell you why in a minute. Not that I don't like your play-by-play. Desmond Whitfield on the handoff, and there's no room whatsoever. Again, Lorain High's defense comes up with a big play, no gain, makes it 2nd down and 10 from the 18-yard line. Craig, I'd love to listen to you tomorrow night, but I'll be the MC at the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame at Germans up in Vermilion. Cliff German and his crew always do a magnificent job with the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony. And a few weeks ago, I did Elyria. So now tomorrow night, I'll be at Lorain. Although, maybe the speakers will keep their presentation short, and Craig, I'll be able to catch the second half. How's that?
Sounds good, Tim. We appreciate every listener we can get.
Well, we appreciate the short speeches at the Hall of Fame induction ceremonies. All right, first quarter clock runs out. How about this? No score, Elyria and Lorain. Zeros up on that scoreboard 12 minutes in. Second quarter follows this timeout in the WEOL Gridiron Clash. It's on AM 930 and FM 100.3 WEOL. It's on the WEOL app. Gary, we're online
on WEOL.com.
Get back in the game of life faster after illness or injury at any of Life Care's 3 locations.
How many?
Elyria or Westlake. The expert therapy staff is ready to champion your recovery while strictly observing all CDC COVID-19 safety guidelines. The Advanced Rehab to Home program defines your specific physical, occupational, and speech therapy goals to help you succeed. Life Care Center of Medina, Elyria, and Westlake. Your champions of care. Find us at lcca.com.
Your home should be comfortable. Call Luxury Heating Company, your local Train comfort specialist. Family owned and operated since 1947, Luxury Heating Company is known for honest service, friendly customer care, quality craftsmanship, and reliable products. And Luxury now offers air duct cleaning. Call now or on the web, visit luxuryheatingco.com. Protect yourself from rising energy costs with a new high-efficiency train comfort system from Luxury Heating Company. It's hard to stop a train.
You're listening to the WEOL Gridiron Clash.
We head to the second quarter here at George Daniel Field in Lorain. Great to have you with us on this Friday night, a Friday that's getting a little bit cloudy here in George Daniel Field. First play of the second quarter. Elyria quarterback Desmond Whitfield throws it down the left side, complete to Palos, 40, 50, 45, 40, forget it! Andrew Palos is gone! Andrew Palos with his second touchdown reception of the year, both long-distance home run balls. Palos gives Elyria a 6-0 lead with 11:49 to go. Here in quarter number 2, Desmond Whitfield threw it out to Palos, and he had nothing but the beautiful new turf here at George Daniel Field in front of him. How about that?
Tim, according to my sheet, that was an 88-yard touchdown pass.
So Elyria grabs the 6-0 lead. How about Palos with his 2 touchdown receptions, one of 80 against EC and now 88 against Lorain. The extra point attempt is blocked, though, by Lorain High. So it's a 6-0 lead for Elyria with 11:49 to go here in the first half of play. We will keep it right here. Boy, Gary, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Elyria was trailing EC 15-0. And they got lightning in a bottle when Klotz hit Palos on an 80-yard strike. This one was from Desmond Whitfield, the 5'8 senior. That'll be his first touchdown pass of the year. But boy, Palos, he's got some speed. When he bursts away from the defender, they're just not going to catch him.
Tim, he was wide open about 15 yards downfield on that left sideline. I didn't know if he was going to catch up to the football because it was laid out there for him. But when he caught it, there was one man that had a chance at him, the safety out there, and when he started to sprint past him and you could tell he didn't have the angle, he was gone. Long distance touchdown for Elyria, and they get the first points of the evening.
And of course, that touchdown means some money is going to Second Harvest Food Bank, because the Second Harvest Touchdowns to Tackle Hunger is brought to you by Jamie's Carpet Shop, Lorain County's oldest full-service flooring store. Visit Jamie's Carpet Shop in Amherst, Elyria, and Sandusky. So Elyria with a 6-0 lead as the Titans give up that big play. And now it will be interesting to see how Lorain High responds. Their defense had been playing well. They battled Elyria to a scoreless first quarter, but Elyria has just grabbed the momentum and the lead with the big play to Palos. So let's see if the Titans can respond. A short end-over-end kick, but it bounces in the middle of the field. Scooped up, though, by Buchanan, and Buchanan is dropped at about the 21. But, boy, we've got flags all over the place.
It was a celebration of penalty flags flying out there.
Greg mentioned the fact that he's got some high school football for WEOL listeners tomorrow night. Of course, next Friday night, you talk about a rivalry that has just captured the imagination of the fans in Lorain County for the past several years. Avon Lake. And we'll have it for you on WEOL. I am really looking forward to calling that one next week, as the Shoremen and the Eagles renew that incredible rivalry. They have had some games the past 5-6 years that have just been lights out classics. Here's some other scores as they figure out the penalty situation down there on the field. Firelands leading Vermilion 6-0. That's our Stream 2 game tonight on WEOL.com. Ron Yance calling that one with Tommy Evans. 6-0 Firelands in the first. Brunswick leading Highland 7-0. That's also in the first. And that's our Medina County matchup tonight. So Brunswick and Highland on that one. Avon has jumped out to a 14-0 lead over Glenville at the end of one. Also at the end of one, Amherst leading North Olmsted 7-3. In the first, Avon Lake on top of Tiffin Columbian 14-zip. In the second, EC leading Midview 14-7. Chagrin Falls and Brookside are scoreless after one quarter. Lorain High now starts at their own 11-yard line, and heading to the left side and not picking up much was Gonzalez, as he's wrestled down after a gain of about 2 at the 13. That'll make it 2nd down and 8. Elyria now with a 6-0 lead after a scoreless first quarter. Desmond Whitfield to Andrew Palos on an 88-yard strike to put the Pioneers up. Their extra point attempt was blocked. Lorain High now with the football. Wyatt in that pistol formation. Wyatt awaiting the snap from Jacob Addis. Wyatt hands off. Gonzalez had a bit of a crease, and then that hole quickly closed as Gonzalez is dropped at the 17-yard line. We'll make it 3rd down for Lorain High. And Gary, I loved what Devlin Culliver told us when we talked to him on the field before the ball game. I asked him why that defense is playing so well, and he just said, we fly to the football, and when we get there, we hit people. Sometimes defense is pretty basic. Get to the ball and hit and tackle. 3rd down and 5. Lorain at their own 17-yard line. Wyatt inside handoff. Gonzalez stopped short of the first down as he fought his way to the 20. Some gritty running there from Robert Gonzalez. But Lorain will now be forced to punt. And this becomes a critical part of the ball game for the Titans. I mean, I'm sure their heads dropped a little bit after the long touchdown for Elyria. But that being said, a lot of football to be played. So for Lorain High, you don't want to see Elyria grab too much of that momentum, put another score on the board.
Tim, you're right. At the end of the first quarter, it's a 0-0 ball game, and Lorain's got to feel pretty good about themselves against the 2-0 Elyria Ball Club. But then Elyria comes out right away with the big 88-yard touchdown, and Lorain having a tough time moving the football.
And almost fortunately for Lorain, they're going to get an illegal procedure call before that ball was snapped back to punter Robert Gonzalez.
It was kind of rolled back
it was rolling like a ground ball to short. And
on an infield that's a little rough.
Yeah, and I was watching the Lorain High punt team practice before we got our interviews done down on the field, and they were having some problems on the snap. So let's see if they can get this one back to Gonzalez a little better. They do, and Gonzalez gets away an end-over-end kick. But again, it takes a nice Lorain bounce, although it now spins backwards to the 43-yard line. So Elyria will have good field position. 9:28 to go first half. Pioneers with a 6-0 lead. Great to have you with us on this Friday night, week 3 of high school football.
Elyria is going to be starting in great field position once again at the Lorain 43-yard line.
By the way, I mentioned that Lorain Sports Hall of Fame banquet tomorrow night. I am looking forward to that. It's been about a year and a half since the Hall of Fame was able to hold their enshrinement banquet. Same story for Elyria a few weeks back. Had a great time at the Elyria Hall of Fame, and looking forward to joining the folks from Lorain tomorrow night. It'll be festive. Pioneers have it. First down and 10. They're at the Lorain 43-yard line. Desmond Whitfield fakes the handoff to Glover, turns right corner, 40, 35, 30, and knocked out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. Good fake there by Desmond Whitfield as the defense was sucked into Lance Glover, and the speedy Winfield went around the right side and got it all the way down to the Titan 25-yard line. Elyria up 6-0, looking to add to that advantage. Pioneers here in the second quarter going left to right, heading towards the parking lot, and all those buses down to the right. The ball is at the 25-yard line of Lorain. Desmond Whitfield with Glover about a step or two behind him and to his right. This time they do hand it off to Glover. He's got a gaping hole up the middle and drives his way down to the 10-yard line. And Gary, I mentioned it earlier, Glover, he doesn't start like he's coming out of the blocks in a 100-yard sprint. But, man, once he picks up momentum, he just is just rolling down the field.
I was going to say.
That's the true example of running downhill.
I thought he got a pretty good start that time, though. Sometimes he looks like he's kind of looking for his hole. That time he says, I'm just going.
First down and 10. Elyria at the 11. They give it to Glover. Glover hemmed in, dropped in the backfield. Well, it took 3 to get him down. One got him high, one got him low. As there for Lorain High was Navon Wright. Loss of 2 as they'll put it at the 13-yard line. That'll make it second down and 12. We're under 9 minutes to go here in the first half of play. As Desmond Whitfield with a look over at the Elyria sideline. Good-sized crowd here tonight in this great venue, George Daniel Field. Boy, you think about the amazing games and athletes that have been at George Daniel. Whitfield fakes, keeps it himself up the middle and in for the touchdown. Desmond Whitfield with a 13-yard jaunt. And the Pioneer quarterback gives the Pioneers a 12-0 lead with 8:27 to go in the first half here at George Daniel. For Desmond Whitfield, that's his first touchdown of the season. And you can see Lorain High looking a little deflated. So the Pioneers now with momentum. As first Whitfield hit Palos on an 88-yard strike. And now Desmond does it with his feet on a 13-yard touchdown run. And now Whitfield will come up under center on a 2-point conversion attempt. I formation. Right side Gilbert, and he slams in for the 2-point conversion. So Jaden Gilbert with the 2-point run, and Elyria's lead is now 14-0. 8:27 to go first half. Coming back after this in the WEOL Gridiron Clash on AM 930 and 100.3 FM. It's also on the mobile app and Gary online on WEOL.com.
2. They're hiring.
Nick Abraham Buick GMC in Elyria is looking to grow their current staff of service technicians. If you're interested, contact Wendell Brown at the dealership and see why working with the Nick Abraham team is the next step in your career. From their quality service department to their tremendous pre-owned selection, including over 200 certified used vehicles, choose Nick Abraham Buick GMC, Route 57 at East Broad Street, Elyria.
Hi, I'm Chris Zeitler, owner of Jamie's Carpet Shop. When you visit the Jamie's Carpet Shop in Sandusky, Elyria, or Amherst, you'll find a gorgeous selection of carpet, tile, laminate, vinyl, and hardwood flooring. Or shop at home. Call. We bring the showroom to you with our floors to your door, shop at home service.
Okay, we'll take it
We've
here.
always done it. We're the best at it. We're Jamie's Carpet Shop, Lorain County's oldest family-owned flooring store, and proud to support Second Harvest Food Bank.
You're listening to the WEOL Gridiron Clash.
Welcome back to George Daniel Field in Lorain. 8:27 to go first half. Elyria now with a 14-0 lead over the Titans from Lorain High on that two-point conversion run for Elyria. We had a Lorain player shaken up on the play, and they are still taking a look at him in the end zone to our right. Craig, I couldn't catch a number up here. I'm not sure if you did down on the sideline or not, as far as who the player for Lorain is that was shaken up on that two-point conversion run.
Yeah, Tim, that's number 26, Armando Lopez, having an awful lot of trouble putting weight on what looks like maybe his right foot. Not sure what the injury is, but he's in a lot of pain right now.
Yeah. Tried to make his way over to the Lorain bench, and then after a few tough steps, he decided, I'm going to go back down again, and the trainers are out taking a look at Armando Lopez, 5'10" senior. We mentioned earlier Elyria trainer Ann Hamker. She has also come out to help in the process with Armando Lopez. Craig's Sideline Report brought to you by Stewart Appliance, the name brand you trust, free delivery, financing, and they service what they sell. Stewart's on Cleveland Street in Elyria. And of course, before the break, we had the touchdown from Elyria High, the 13-yard run from their quarterback Desmond Whitfield, and that means more money to Second Harvest Food Bank. Second Harvest touchdowns to tackle hunger, brought to you by Jamie's Carpet Shop. Visit them in Amherst, Elyria, and Sandusky, or have them bring the showroom to you. You just heard Chris Zeitler talking about that during the commercial break. Jamie's Carpet Shop. And boy, if I can give a testimonial to Jamie's Carpet Shop, I certainly will do that. They have done the floors in my homes, not that I have multiple homes, but the past two homes, I'll put it that way, and boy, they just do fabulous work.
You got that vacation home I didn't know about?
No, I don't.
Not yet?
No. That is not the case. So again, we're in a delay here at George Daniel Field in Lorain as Elyria took a 12-0 lead on a touchdown run from 13 yards out from Pioneer quarterback Desmond Whitfield, and then the two-point conversion run by Jaden Gilbert. And on that two-point conversion run for Lorain High, Armando Lopez was shaken up, and he was very, very slow to get up. And then as he tried to make his way to the Lorain High bench, it was a no-go. And so they have put Armando back down on the field. And we do have the ambulance coming. And again, one thing that I learned many, many years ago, I am not a doctor, nor do I play one on television. So in no way am I going to speculate as to what the injury may be or what it may have looked like. But they are going to take every single solitary precaution here. So when you're listening and you hear the words, well, the ambulance has been brought out, I know that can kind of get your heart to flutter a little bit, but they will do everything
to make this as comfortable as possible for Armando Lopez and make sure that he is treated in the most effective way that can possibly transpire. And again, you've got the best in high school athletic trainers that are on the field right now with the young man from Lorain High. So again, they'll make sure that everything is done to the absolute proper degree to make sure this is handled in the very best manner, in the very best way that it can be handled.
Well, Tim, looking at the football side of things right now, there's 8:27 to go in the second quarter of play, and we're having an extended delay. Momentum had definitely gone to the Elyria side. And they scored 2 touchdowns here in the second quarter, and that last one put them up, gave them that 14-point lead. Does this sort of take the edge off of that momentum that they've been garnering in the last few minutes?
It could, because it's brought everything to a standstill here at George Daniel Field, as of course everybody's primary concern is Armando Lopez for Lorain High and hoping the best for that young man. The flip side of that coin, Gary, is Lorain High had played a scoreless first quarter against Elyria. Now they give up 2 quick scores here in the second period of play. They find themselves down 14-0 on the scoreboard, and now they see one of their teammates down on the field and being taken off on a stretcher. So if Lorain High wasn't deflated already, this may add to that. But again, there's genuine concern. But the good news was that Armando, he did try to get up and head to the Lorain High bench and wisely determined, I'm not going to make it there. So he went back down, and that's when they made the call, and the proper call, to let's get him on a stretcher and just make sure that he's taken off the field in the safest manner that it can possibly happen. So, but if you're in Lorain shoes, you're thinking, boy, we've given up 2 touchdowns and now we sit and wait for our teammate to be taken off. So we'll see how it affects the game. It's a good point, Gary, because Elyria had all the momentum, and this may stifle that somewhat. But on the same token, Lorain High had lost any momentum that they might have had, and now they're dealing with an injury to a teammate, and that's certainly tough to kind of watch and experience as a young man on a football team. So let's take you through some other scores as Jared Kozar keeps tabs on the grease board. End of 1, Firelands leading Vermilion 13-0. That's our Stream 2 game on WEOL.com and on the WEOL mobile app. We're on Yachts. Tom Evans bringing you that one on Stream 2. First quarter score, Brunswick leading Highland. That's the Medina County matchup, 7-0. The Blue Devils are on top of Highland. That's still in the first quarter of play. Boy, Avon having a big night. They're taking out their frustrations after that loss to Medina on Glenville as the Eagles lead Glenville 28-6 in the second quarter of play. Southwestern Conference play, Amherst leading North Olmsted 13-3. That's in the second period. Comets on top by 10. Avon Lake leading Tiffin Columbian 14-0. That's in the first quarter of play. Second quarter, boy, another great rivalry game. You talk about Elyria and Lorain. Well, EC Midview can get the blood pumping as well. EC and Midview are in the second quarter. Panthers lead that one 21-14. How about that wild game that Elyria Catholic had last week in their home opener? They had 65, I believe it was. Well, the EC offense was just rolling last Friday night, and they appear to have a good thing going tonight with their 21-14 lead over Midview in the second quarter. Chagrin Falls and Brookside, they are scoreless at the end of 1. Columbia having their way with Northwestern. Columbia leading Northwestern 28-0. That's in the second quarter of play. Boy, Columbia under head coach Jason Ward just continues to roll along. Oberlin leading Brooklyn 7-0. They're in the second quarter of play. First quarter at the end of 1. Olmsted Falls and Norwalk are deadlocked at 7. And in the first quarter of play, Buckeye, or actually it's at the end of 1. They've completed 1 quarter. Buckeye leading Copley by a score of 7-6. Armando Lopez on the stretcher being taken over to the ambulance here on the track. And Armando giving a big wave and a thumbs up to the crowd.
And we mentioned earlier, you hear ambulance, you hear stretcher, and, justifiably, you become concerned, but so often with high school sports, and appropriately so, they just take every single precaution they can take. They don't want to certainly put the player at any risk, and so it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a devastating injury. So I don't want to alarm folks when you hear stretcher and ambulance. I think they just wanted to take the proper steps of getting Armando off the field in the safest way they could, and that meant the stretcher because, as we said, Gary, once he tried to walk over to the sideline, he obviously was in a lot of pain, and that wasn't going to happen.
Yes.
So go ahead.
I was going to say, yes, you're absolutely correct. He just went back down on the goal line over there and let the personnel that's their job take over. Well, with 8:27 remaining in the second quarter play, we're getting ready to finally kick the ball off again.
Yeah, that was a long delay as, again, we wish nothing but the very, very best to Armando Lopez, senior, as he was shaken up on the two-point conversion run by Elyria that gave the Pioneers a 14-0 lead. 8:27 to go first half. We're here at George Daniel. So now Elyria will kick off, and the kickoff being brought to you by EcoTree Services. Call for 24-hour emergency service or online. Visit ecotreeservices.com. So Elyria will kick off. Let's see if Lorain High can grab some of that momentum back. John Freeman does the kicking for Elyria. And Freeman with a short end-over-end kick fielded at the 30-yard line and lowering the shoulder and getting out to about the 39 was for Lorain High was Noah Buchanan. So Lorain High's got some good field position. They've got a lot of clock to work with. 8:23 to go second quarter. And they've given up 14 unanswered points. This is a Lorain High team that's 0-2. And Damian Creel talked to us on the field before the ball game, first-year head coach, saying the kids are sticking with it. It's a tough uphill climb for Lorain. They're a young football team, and they didn't play last year. So a lot is being thrown at them, and a lot being thrown at a sophomore quarterback in Joseph Wyatt. And think about the fact that the last time he was on George Daniel Field, he was an 8th grader. Wyatt fakes the handoff, comes right up the middle, took a pretty good pop, goes down at the 44-yard line. Or excuse me, that was Robert Gonzalez. So they went a little bit of a wildcat there. And so Gonzalez is now taking the snap. So Gonzalez is the senior. And I think Damian Creel right here may be thinking he's our best athlete. We've counted on Robert the first 2 weeks of the season. He has their only 2 touchdowns, 42 carries in the first 2 games. Let's just snap it right to him, see what he can do. Picked up 4 right there, 2nd down and 6 at the 44-yard line. Titans going right to left. Gonzalez this time, though, hands it off, and not a lot of room. Has dropped at the 46-yard line, and then we'll get a late flag on the play. As after making the run was Javon Williams. But Gary, I don't think that flag was actually on the tackle. I think it came away from the play.
I think you're right, Tim, but I don't know where or who this is going to go. I guess it's going to go against Elyria here.
Yeah, Big Al saying we've got a personal foul against the Pioneers. And so let's see if Lorain can capitalize. They're trailing 14-0, 7:33 to go first half of play. But Lorain is now at the Elyria 39-yard line.
I'll tell you what, Tim, that first down is their first down.
They'll take it any way they can get it. Trailing 14-zip. Gonzalez now taking the direct snap. Gonzalez hands off, and not much there. Again, Javon Williams driven down at the 39-yard line. No gain on the play. He tried the short side of the field, and there just wasn't any room to maneuver. Makes it 2nd down and 10 as we're about to hit the 7-minute mark here in the first half of play. Elyria Lorain, the rivalry renewed. Of course, they didn't play last year as Lorain shelved their football season due to COVID. Lorain has won the last 3 games. That's according to Tim Gebhardt. Here comes Gonzalez on a keeper. Breaks a tackle, squirms his way down to the 30-yard line, leans forward, trying to get the first down inside the 30. I think they'll put the ball down right at the 30-yard line. It'll be 3rd and less than a yard, although no doubt this is 4-down territory for Lorain. 6:18 to go in the half. Titans trying to get on the board. Elyria leading 14-zip, 2 second-quarter touchdowns for the Pioneers.
Nice pickup of 9 there. Bring up a 3rd down and 1 situation. Lorain is moving the football.
3rd and 1. It'll be Gonzalez out of that pistol. Gonzalez awaits the snap. It bounces away from him. Now he picks it up. Now he's in trouble. Heads to the left side. Trying to turn the corner. Dives forward. Got the first down. How about the improvisational skills right there? Robert Gonzalez. The ball bounced high off his hands. He managed to snag it. Pioneers were crushing in on him. Gonzalez managed to elude all those guys in the white uniforms and bounced outside, got to the left, and dove to the 28 for the first down.
Well, there was a point in that play very early on when the play was blown up and Gonzalez's only goal was to not lose as much as possible. He got it back to the line of scrimmage, +2 to pick up that first down.
And now we've got a flag on the first down play, and it's going to be an illegal procedure against the Titans. It'll push them back 5, make it first down and 15. Let's check in with Craig Couch. Craig, do you sense a little bit of momentum on that Lorain sideline?
Well, they're trying to get fired up again over here, Tim, but I got to tell you that so many times we say that the game is won in the trenches, and I think you definitely got to give that edge to Elyria right now. On their last possession, that offensive line really was able to impose themselves.
Handoff right side, looking for room is Javon Williams. Turned the corner, cut it back, got down to about the 27-yard line. You can see where they spot that football.
Looks like he got about all the yardage from the penalty there.
He got 5. That'll make it second down and 15. Craig's sideline report brought to you by Stewart Appliance. Stewart Appliance. They're on Cleveland Street in Elyria. Second down and 10 at the 28-yard line. Gonzalez gets the snap, fakes the handoff. Gonzalez now cuts it back up the middle, spun down at the 24-yard line. One thing I like about Gonzalez, he appears to have pretty good vision. He sees tacklers coming and he's able to zig and zag. Of course, he's a senior, missed his junior campaign, but Robert Gonzalez, you can see he's a little more seasoned out there than some of the younger Titans. 3rd down and 6 with 4:10 to go in the first half. Lorain High looking for their first points in the ball game. Pioneers of Elyria lead it 14-zip. Gonzalez has been taking the snaps on this drive for Lorain High. Gonzalez hands off. Williams with a crease up the middle, bangs his way to the 20, close to the 19-yard line. I'm not sure he got the first down. He needed to get inside the 19. Actually, they spot the ball just inside the 20. It'll be 4th and a yard. Well, the marker says first down over on that other side, but it's definitely 4th down.
I think somebody's slacking on that down marker.
There we go. Yeah, he didn't get the first, so now it's 4th down and about a yard and a half. Boy, huge play here for Lorain High. Just over 3 minutes to go in the half, and Lorain wants time. They want to make sure they've got the right play call here. This is a momentous spot in this football game. 14-0 with 3:16 to go second quarter. And Lorain High trying to punch one in, get some of the momentum back. Of course, they gave up the 2 touchdowns in this quarter as Andrew Palos hauled in an 88-yard touchdown pass from Desmond Whitfield, and then Whitfield with a 13-yard touchdown run for Elyria, and the 2-point conversion run that made it 14-0. And then, of course, we had the lengthy delay as Armando Lopez for Lorain High was injured on that 2-point conversion play for Elyria High. But Lorain High has answered, but boy, are they facing a huge fourth down play here.
I'll tell you what, Tim, Lorain High is trending the right way in this drive, though. They've got all their gains have been, they've had positive yardage. They've went +5, +2, +9, +2, +5, +4, and +4. So they're going forwards, and that third down, that was big because they picked up, it was 3rd down and 6, and they picked up 4 of it. So they're moving positively. The thing is, they've only got one shot here. They've got to get the first down.
Well, the ball's just about in the middle of the field, so there is no wide or short side of the field. It's right in the middle. Gonzalez takes the snap. Gonzalez rolling to the right under a heavy rush, and down he goes all the way back at the 31-yard line.
Well, all that positive yardage, that time they went -10.
Yeah, Gonzalez tried to take it to the right side, and again, the ball was in the middle of the field, so it wasn't really the wide side of the field. It was just the right side of the field, and Elyria wasn't fooled whatsoever.
Yeah, give credit to the Elyria defenders, especially those guys on that front defensive line. They were across the line of scrimmage, and they were right where Gonzalez wanted to go and chased him backwards.
Now, hold on a second, Gary. We've got a flag on the field, and Al Ivey, if I'm not mistaken, just indicated an unsportsmanlike call against Elyria, but
that's after change of possession.
That's what I was just going to say. My question is, did it come after the change of possession? That's what Damian Creel here on the near side, Lorain High coach, wants to know. And I think Al's coming over to explain, yes, the play was over. It was a dead ball, and then we had unsportsmanlike against Elyria. So the stop for the Pioneers defensively will stand, but then a penalty after Elyria, or excuse me, after the play, pushes Elyria back 15 yards. Coming up at the half, we'll have some halftime highlights for you as Dave Rydell back in the studios of WEOL is doing a great job on the board tonight. Well, no worse than usual.
We need an ID, thank you.
So as Elyria gets set to start this drive at their own 16-yard line, Pioneers looking to add to a 14-0 lead. We were scoreless at the end of one, and then Elyria with 2 unanswered touchdowns here in the second quarter of play. Desmond Whitfield has really done a nice job at QB as he's thrown for a touchdown and run for a touchdown. Klotz saw the QB duties in the first quarter. Whitfield inside handoff. Look out! Gilbert just storms his way up the middle out over the 30 to the 35-yard line. That was Jasir Lucky, actually. It was not Jaden Gilbert. Jasir Lucky rips off a big gain as Lucky brings it out to the 34. And that'll move the chains for Elyria. First down and 10.
Give him 19 yards on that one.
Yeah, Lucky's got some explosiveness coming into tonight, averaging over 7 yards per carry. And there's plenty of clock for Elyria. And the thing is, they're down to 1 timeout, but just under 3 minutes to go. And of course, in high school football, that clock stops after every first down, so no need to rush. Here comes Lucky again, sideline left, 45, 50, 45, and finally knocked out of bounds into the Elyria bench. Boy, all of a sudden, the speed game of Elyria is starting to pay dividends. You pound away with Glover, and now you go to the guys that can really race around end. Jasir Lucky has ripped off a couple of big gains, although they're going to say his foot went out of bounds at the 48-yard line of Lorain High over on that far side.
Need an ID.
Only a 14-yard pickup.
Still moves the chains. First down and 10. We're down to 2:45 to go here in the first half of play. Elyria with a 14-0 lead. Ball now at the left hash mark as it went out of bounds in the Elyria bench. Whitfield awaits the snap. Whitfield hands off Glover. He's got a hole. He's got room. He's busting tackles inside the 40 to the 35-yard line. That'll be a first down for Elyria. Pioneers come up without a huddle. 4 receivers set, 2 to the right, 2 to the left. It'll be Glover behind Desmond Whitfield. Well, Glover now heads to the Pioneer bench as they're going to get Jasir Lucky.
Tim, 3 consecutive plays for Elyria, 19, 14, and 12 yards. 3 plays in a row.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So let's see what Devlin Culliver elects to do right here on a 1st and 10. They're going to give it to Lucky. He's got room up the middle. Now he cuts outside to the 25. He's to the 20, cuts it back 15, spinning, and finally brought down at the 14-yard line. Jasir Lucky, that was highlight reel material right there. A terrific run by Lucky. And again, the clock will stop on the 1st down. And now Al Ivey says we've got an official timeout as Lucky is a little slow to get up. So as Lucky hunches over at the 15-yard line, we'll pause for station identification in the WEOL Gridiron Clash.
WEOL, Elyria, Lorain, Medina.
Well, I'm going to tell you, that Dave Rydell, he's a stickler for that legal ID. 2:15 to go, 2nd quarter. It is a 14-0 Elyria lead, although Jasir Lucky, who has showed skill and not luck on this drive with some scintillating runs, is slow to get up after his latest 1st down run for Elyria.
Well, he picked up 20 yards on that run, but then he spun right into a tackler.
Well, Gary, we mentioned that was a momentous 4th down play for Lorain, because if they get the 1st down and keep that drive going and perhaps get on the board, make it a 14-6 or 14-8 ball game, whatever the case may be, Lorain gets some momentum back. Instead, Elyria stuffs the play. Now Elyria is just ripping through that Titan defense. And if Elyria can punch one more in here before the half expires, and they appear on their way to doing that, because right now they look unstoppable on offense. Boy, that momentum pendulum has definitely swung all the way to the Pioneer side.
Well, they've run 4 plays in this drive, and all 4 have garnered them 1st downs.
So now it's a 1st down and 10 from the 16-yard line, as they give it on an inside handoff. And boy, nothing doing right there. There's Lorain's defense coming up with a stop, as dropped on that play for Elyria was Emery Horton. So Horton now in as a running back. We're under 2 minutes to go in the 1st half. No gain on that play. We'll make it 2nd down and 10. The ball is at the 17-yard line, right hash mark. Elyria going left to right. Whitfield in that pistol. Whitfield look left, nothing doing. Runs with the football, doesn't run for long. Down he goes, right at the line of scrimmage, and now it's 3rd and long. Really nice play defensively for Lorain High right there. Noah Smith was in on that stop. So let's see if Lorain can get a big stop right here. 3rd and 11 from the 18-yard line. Again, Emery Horton, the single back with Whitfield, who gets the snap. Whitfield now hands off to Gilbert, who came in motion. Gilbert tries to turn the corner. He can't. Driven down at the 15-yard line. And now we've got a late flag, and we've got some tempers flaring, as we got some jostling going on out there.
That was a big play for Elyria, because they only have one timeout left, and that player was still in bounds, Tim.
Oh boy, what a huge penalty against Lorain, and that's just inexperience and knowing what it takes to win and knowing how to stay disciplined, and that's all part of growing pains and a process. As we are going to get, I believe, an unsportsmanlike conduct call against Lorain High. Well, Elyria ran a misdirection per se. Gilbert came in motion to the left. He got the football, and he really didn't have any room to operate. Lorain High read that play well and stuffed it. But after the play had ended, we had some pushing and shoving and jawing. And Lorain gets hit with the unsportsmanlike penalty. So instead of Elyria facing a 4th down and long, they're now going to have a 3rd down. 3rd down and about 2. They mark it half the distance to the goal. Wow. So now the ball at the left hash mark. 3 receivers to the right, the wide side of the field. Inside handoff, Glover pounding his way inside the 5 to about the 3-yard line. Now again for Elyria, they have 1 timeout left. They'll stop the clock on the 1st down, so it's 1st and goal for Elyria. They are at the 3-yard line of Lorain. As Elyria will get set, they wind the clock. Pioneers with a 1st and goal at the 3. Whitfield under center now. Whitfield turns, hands off, and Horton is in for the touchdown. Emery Horton right up the middle on a 3-yard touchdown run, and Elyria now leads it 20-0 with 45 seconds to go in the first half of play. Boy, Gary, that penalty against Lorain High was just huge.
You're right. It would have brought up a 4th down situation for Elyria, and it would have been 4th down and long, and Elyria wouldn't have any timeouts left. I mean, they would have come out and they would have run a play for sure, but they could have turned Elyria back. And Elyria on the other side, they come out, they take advantage of it, and get their 3rd touchdown of the ball game.
And now Elyria goes for 2. They give it to Glover, and he carries a couple of guys into the end zone for the 2-point conversion run to make it a 22-0 ball game. So a tough second quarter for Lorain High, as after playing Elyria to a scoreless first quarter of play, Pioneers now with 22 unanswered points here in the second quarter. Double checking with my spotters back here, Mr. Gebhardt. That was Horton. Oh, was it Lucky? Oh, it was one. You know, Gebhardt's giving me bad information because he hasn't gotten the shout out yet tonight. That's what it's all about. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Shout out to Tim Gebhardt, sitting right behind me. Oh, and of course that touchdown for Elyria, you know what that means? More money for Second Harvest Food Bank. As, of course, touchdowns to tackle hunger is brought to you by Jamie's Carpet Shop, Lorain County's oldest full-service flooring store. Visit Jamie's Carpet Shop. They're in Amherst, Elyria, and Sandusky. So Elyria now with a 22-0 lead. 45 seconds to go. First half. And you would think Lorain High, as Elyria is going to try an onside kick. Ball's loose, and the Pioneers have it. A bouncing kick. It deflected off one of the Lorain High upmen. And Elyria comes up with it. And, boy, now the Pioneers have an opportunity to blow this one wide open. They've only got 43 seconds on that clock. But, Gary, the way their offense has been operating at such high efficiency the last couple of series, that's a lot of time.
Well, it's
in a short field.
It's a lot of time, a short field, and a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. That means we start the second half with a running clock.
So let's see what Devlin Culliver elects to do right here. He's got 1 timeout and 43 seconds and 47 yards. So Elyria has put together a 22-point rampage here in the second period of play. And they bounced that kick, and it deflected off a Lorain High up man, and here comes Elyria again. Desmond Whitfield in that pistol. Whitfield looking left, bounces off one tackler, still rolling left, gets to the 50, to the 45, and finally knocked out into the Elyria bench at about the 42-yard line. Smart play by Whitfield. He gets out of bounds to stop the clock. So Elyria can regroup. 35 seconds to go with the ball at the 42-yard line. So a gain of about 5. Oh boy, here's something interesting. The clock was stopped, but Elyria takes their final timeout. So that's an interesting move there by the Pioneers. Let's head down to Craig Couch on the sideline. Boy, Craig, Elyria with all the momentum right now. And as Gary and I were saying, if they can cash in here, they could really put this one in desperation mode for Lorain High.
Oh, no doubt about it, Tim. And I tell you what, that's 2 possessions in a row that the Elyria offensive line has been able to create some gaping holes. Xander Lowry having himself a ball game. The right guard is going to like film session tomorrow. He's put on a number of blocks where he has just dominated his man. And I tell you what, for the Pioneers, with 35 seconds left to go before halftime, don't be surprised if they target Andrew Palos. We saw him score on an 88-yard catch and run to start the second quarter. He has tremendous speed, and he's lined up right now on the outside.
Good stuff, Craig. Thank you very much. Craig's Sideline Report brought to you by Stewart Appliance. They're on Cleveland Street in Elyria. So 35 seconds on the clock. Elyria takes their final timeout. They have the ball at the Lorain High 42-yard line. Elyria looking to add to a 22-0 lead. Quick throw to the right, and Gilbert dropped it. We'll make it 3rd down and about 5 for the Pioneers. Elyria in their home whites tonight. They've got the white pants with the white shirts, bright red letters and numbers. Well, the play-by-play guys, we love the bright numbers on the white jerseys. Lorain High cooperating with the white numbers on the dark blue. Good job, Heather Wallace and Brian Corey. Can't have those dark numbers on dark jerseys. Just can't happen. Now we've got, well, we didn't think either team had a timeout left, and I don't see a player down, so it's not an injury timeout, but we have a stoppage in play. So maybe the scoreboard was inaccurate.
Well, I'm not quite sure, Tim, because...
Oh, no, I'm sorry. There was a player down right in front of the Lorain High bench. I just caught it. He was blocked by all the Titans here. Yep, we had some cramping going on.
Because I was going to say that Gilbert didn't catch that flare pass out here on the right side. That might have been the best thing that happened to Elyria, because if he'd have caught it, there was 3 Lorain defenders immediately in his vicinity. It probably would have tackled him, and with only 33 seconds left, might not have run out the clock, but it might have got close.
Yep. It was T.J. Williams who had some leg cramps, and they're still stretching him out on the bench right down below us. So now we'll resume action with 33 seconds to go. And it's 3rd down play, and now we've got flags flying all over the place as well, that one looked discombobulated from the get-go.
Looked like Lucky got a little bit of an early start over there.
And Jasir Lucky cut up field before the Elyria players, or excuse me, before the Elyria center had snapped the football.
He's very fast, and that time he was faster than the center.
And you heard Craig Couch talk about Xander Lowry on that Elyria offensive line. Boy, let's credit that group up front. They have been outstanding. Connor Fees, Xander Lowry, Marky Boone, Joe Malenko, Tyler Thompson. That big offensive line for Elyria. They've got some beef up there. Have done a great job. 3rd down and 10 play. Here comes Whitfield up the middle, breaks one tackle, breaks another, gets inside the 40 before he's driven down. Actually, they'll call him down right at the 40-yard line, and here's the problem now for Elyria. They're out of timeouts. So they burned that timeout after a play went out of bounds. We're down to 12, 11, 10, and I think Elyria is going to say, all right, well, let's just head to the locker room. So the 2 teams are going to go inside as we've reached the intermission here at George Daniel Field in Lorain. After a scoreless first quarter of play, Elyria erupts for 22 unanswered points here in the second, and they lead it 22-0 as the 2 teams head to the locker room. Before we take the timeout, we're going to head down to the field. Greg Couch is standing by with Pioneer head coach Devlin Culliver. Craig?
Thank you, Tim. Coach, what a difference between quarter 1 and quarter 2. Seemed like the offense was kind of stuck in neutral to start the ball game, but then you open up the second quarter with that big play, 88-yard pass, catch and run. What's the difference between the 2 quarters?
Just, last couple of games we start off the game slow, offensively. We were sputtering a lot, instead of coming out having some positive plays. Once we get going, we sort of once we get going, we're pretty good at offense, but, we just start off slow. We got to find, maybe I got to call some better plays at the beginning of the game or something. We just got to get something going better than what we have.
Defensively, you're pitching a shutout so far. What's working for you on the defensive side of the football?
We just run to the ball. Our guys like to play defense. They get excited about it, like I said earlier in the pregame. And that's what they're doing. We just got to keep going, because Lorain's not going to stop playing. So.
Finally, what do you want to see your kids do in the second half?
Just get away from all the trash talk. I know it's a crosstown rival, and I get it, man. These kids know each other outside of football and outside of school, and stuff gets heated, and I just don't want it to get out of hand because, it's just trying to play a friendly football game, and that's our kids too, it's Elyria kids and Lorain kids. They're getting chippy out there, which I understand, but it just makes for a longer night for no reason.
Coach, thank you very much. We better get out of here before we get run over by the band. Appreciate your time, Coach. Tim, back up to you.
Oh, that was good stuff, Craig. Very, very honest and blunt. Devlin Culliver saying, listen, it's getting too chippy out here. Let's just play football. But I'll tell you what, he's got to be pleased overall as Elyria High heads to the locker room with a 22-0 lead. And to Craig Couch's point, that's a big band getting ready to take the field as Elyria High will put on, I'm sure, a sterling halftime performance. As always, one of the best bands in Lorain County, if not Northeast Ohio. Now, one of the things we're going to have Craig Couch try to do before this night is over is get a few words with Al Ivey, because Al Ivey, as we mentioned earlier, is one of the esteemed officials as far as high school football is concerned. But Al not only worked high school football, but basketball and, of course, baseball. He's just a tremendous baseball umpire. So, Greg, do you want to grab Al right now, or are you going to let him go in? Is he going to go down there and chat with you? Is he going in? All right, he's going to go in, and we'll get Al when he comes out, because he's just a great guy and a real character. 22-0, Elyria High with a lead over Lorain at the half here at George Daniel Field.
Resolution change for some reason with the standard depth. Lost it on widescreen anymore. Wonder what happened.
Okay. How many years have you been doing this?
30 years.
30 years. So you officiate other sports as well, though, basketball and baseball in addition to football.
Yes, I do. Love the kids and love being out here.
So what keeps you coming out every single Friday night or every Tuesday night, Friday night for basketball, for the baseball games as well? Officials, it's not an easy job. I know it. I know it's not easy. You take abuse from the kids sometimes. You take abuse from the coaches. You take abuse from the fans. God knows you take abuse from Alcorn. So.
It's like being married with a girlfriend. You know, but somebody gonna be mad.
Oh, I got to use that one sometime. Usually we try to string these interviews out a little bit longer, but you can't top that, so we're just going to end it right there.
Don't drop that mic. There's a lot of money invested in that, but it was a mic drop moment, that's for sure.
You know, I've done high school football for many, many years. I never thought I'd hear the quote, "It's like being married with a girlfriend." There you go. Only
somebody's going to be mad.
That's great. Oh, Big Al made my night. 22-0. Elyria leading Lorain. We'll be back to George Daniel Field for the start of the third quarter right after this on the WEOL Gridiron Clash on AM 930 and 100.3 FM, the WEOL mobile app. And Gary, don't get anybody mad, but we're online.
That's not hard to do sometimes on WEOL.com.
Oh, my God.
If you're riding your motorcycle and someone in the car doesn't see you, it doesn't matter who is right.
your life could be changed forever. But you don't have to go it alone. Call your injury attorneys at Gallon, Tackus, and Boysenall. They've been
how many
insurance companies for over 60 years. Call Gallon, Tackus, and Boysenall at 440-538-6033 or visit GallonLaw.com.
Somebody's going to be mad.
GallonLaw.com.
Your home should be comfortable. Call Luxury Heating Company, your local Train comfort specialist. Family owned and operated since 1947, Luxury Heating Company is known for honest service, friendly customer care, quality craftsmanship, and reliable products. And Luxury now offers air duct cleaning. Call now or on the web, visit luxuryheatingco.com. Protect yourself from rising energy costs with a new high-efficiency
Hey, do you want me to try to get Creel?
From Luxury Heating Company. It's hard to stop a train. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Jaworski Physical Therapy in Elyria has physical therapists and certified athletic trainers on staff to treat your every need. JPT offers specialized one-on-one services including aquatic therapy and vestibular therapy right here in your hometown. Remember, you have a choice as to where you go for your physical therapy. Visit Jaworski Physical Therapy on Winkle Street in Elyria or find them online and on Facebook. Good luck to all athletes tonight.
This is the Lorain County Community College Halftime Show on AM 930 and 100.3 FM WEOL.
And, of course, the star of the Lorain County Community College Halftime Show, Big Al Ivy. Oh, that was just classic. I'll remember that for a long, long time. 22-0, Elyria leading Lorain as we get ready to start the third quarter of play. Great to have you with us, Tim Elkhorn, along with Gary Pelter, Craig Couch with the Emmy. Well, we're not on television. I don't know what they give out in radio, but that was award-winning, Craig. That was Marconi.
Marconi.
Yes, it was the Marconi award-winning interview with Big Al Ivy working tonight's ball game.
How did you not know that?
What do you mean, how do I not know that?
Was.
I've never won a Marconi. That's how I didn't know that.
You've been doing radio for quite a while, though.
You knew it was the Marconi?
If I had another minute, I was thinking.
Did you know? Yes or no?
I did. It didn't come to the forefront of my brain, but I knew it.
Come on.
The board op did.
22-0 as we get ready to start the third quarter of play. Again, Elyria High with 22 unanswered points in the second period. Don't forget, tomorrow morning, 9 to 11, the Saturday morning sports wrap-up brought to you by Nick Abraham. It'll be Jared Kozar and Marissa McNeese. You'll hear some highlights. You may just hear the voice of Big Al Ivy tomorrow morning on the wrap-up show. And, of course, tomorrow night, Craig Couch gets the play-by-play microphone as Craig will be over at Byers Field in Parma. He'll get his steps in just going up the steps at Byers Field in Parma. As we've got Elyria getting ready to kick off as the Pioneers with the 22-0 lead. And, of course, for Elyria, a touchdown and a two-point conversion here in the third quarter would make a running clock. There's a kickoff, and it's bobbled, and then going back to just fall on it, Rico Anderson inside the 20 at about the 18-yard line. So Lorain High will have it first down and 10. Looking at a 22-0 deficit. Lorain will be going left to right on your radio dial, heading towards that parking lot area down to our right. Pioneers and Titans renewing their long-standing rivalry. We mentioned during the first half, you think about some of the great athletes and the great games here at George Daniel, and a lot of those were between Elyria and Lorain football teams. I think about the fact, the Vic Janowitzes of the world and those guys ran all over this field. Joseph Wyatt now back in for Lorain High at quarterback, turns and hands off to Gonzalez. There isn't anything going for Gonzalez as he's dropped for a gain of maybe a half yard if they give him a good spot. They don't. No gain on the play will make it second down and 10. Boy, that Elyria defense, they're big. Evan Troutman is the nose guard, a junior, 295. Steve Witherspoon at one defensive end, Darius Atley at the other.
Three linebackers that love to hit: Isaiah Johnson, Jaden Gilbert, and Noah Fox. We'll give you the secondary after this 2nd down and 10 play. Here's Wyatt with a pump fake, rolling left, and he's just swarmed under back at about the 10-yard line. And boy, things are going wrong for Lorain High.
They're going the wrong direction, that's for sure. And this was a big possession for Lorain High, simply for the fact that to get a little bit of momentum, not even necessarily a score, but just getting something positive going out there on the field for him.
Right, and again, we talked earlier, Damian Creel and the challenge he's facing as a first-year head coach, not only inheriting a program that he's trying to build a culture and his system into, but also the fact, and not to harp on it, they didn't play last year. So you've got all that work to make up. Inside handoff. There goes Gonzalez, 20, 25, 30, and knocked out of bounds into the Elyria bench outside the 30 at about the 31, maybe the 32-yard line. Boy, a bit of a crease for Robert Gonzalez, and he showed a little bit of a burst rate there.
I'm going to say that was about a 19-yard pickup, Tim.
Nice gain for Robert Gonzalez. So maybe that'll spur Lorain a little bit. Again, not a lot went right for them in that second quarter, but a nice 3rd down run on a 3rd and long by Robert Gonzalez moves the chains. 1st down and 10 as the Titans are at their own 31-yard line. Gonzalez again, inside handoff, just lowers the shoulder and churns his way to about the 35-yard line. Gain of 4 will make it 2nd down and 6. Great to have you with us tonight. Of course, next Friday night, I'll be doing another game for WEOL. Love doing it. Boy, I love the game next Friday. Avon Lake Avon. Some of the incredible games that they've had the past few years. We'll have that one for you next Friday night. Here's Joseph Wyatt on a 2nd down play at the 35-yard line. Gives it to Gonzalez. He's got a crease, and he fights his way over the 40, close to the 41. If he gets to the 41, that'll move the chains and give Lorain another 1st down. Well, let's talk about that Lorain offensive line, because the last couple of plays, they've opened a hole for Robert Gonzalez. Jacob Addis is the center. Racy Perez and Anthony Poole are the guards. Evan Rakovic and Demarion Rivera are the tackles. And that did indeed move the chains. 1st down and 10, Lorain. They're at their own 41, 9.5 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Lorain down 22-zip. They give it to Gonzalez again, right side, and he's upended after a short gain to the 43-yard line. It'll make it 2nd down and 8.
Going to give him a pickup of about 2. That time he went to the right side.
Lorain going left to right. It's our first series of downs here in the 3rd quarter of play. Elyria with a 22-0 lead. Joseph Wyatt is the sophomore quarterback. Wyatt looked left. There wasn't anybody there. Wyatt decides to keep it himself. Now the ball's got knocked out of his hands. Loose on the field. A mad scramble. And who's got it? The Pioneers of Elyria have come out of there with the football as Loran Anderson comes up with the fumble.
Well, there was definitely some confusion in the backfield, Tim. Wyatt turned one way, Gonzalez went the, you don't know if it was the right way or the wrong way, but they were definitely not on the same wavelength right there. And then Wyatt just turned to the left and tried to take the ball himself. And by that time, there was Elyria defenders all over them, and the ball came loose. And now Elyria going the other way with the ball on the Lorain 40-yard line.
Boy, Loran Anderson is only a freshman in that secondary for Elyria. That's his 2nd takeaway this year. He had an interception, and now he's got a fumble recovery. He also has a sack. Boy, how bright is the future for that young man? Only a 9th grader. A couple of takeaways and a sack, and we're only 3 games into the season. So Elyria now at the 40-yard line of Lorain, 1st down and 10. As Jasir Lucky gets the handoff
Tries to bolt up the middle, but he's shut down at the 39-yard line. Gain of 1 will make it 2nd down and 9. Elyria looking to add to a 22-0 lead. And as we mentioned earlier, if they get a score and a 2-point conversion, we're looking at a running clock. And Lorain High defensively says, well, we may have something to say about that, as they should. 2nd down and 9 play. Klotz back in at quarterback. Short arms one to the right. And the catch was made. Nice job there by, let's see who brought that one in for Elyria High. It was Nick Smith. And Nick Smith on a wobbler to the right side, but Smith went down and got it near his shoe tops. Short gain will make it 3rd down. And about, I'll say 7. It's not 9, which is up there on the scoreboard. Klotz, inside handoff, Lucky with a crease to the right side, and he's dropped at about the 32-yard line.
He needed 7, he picked up about 6.
So it'll be 4th down and 1, and you would think Elyria, just shy of the 30-yard line with a 22-0 lead. They're going to go for it. Klotz looking over to the bench, looking for that play call, as is Jasir Lucky. Lucky standing right next to Klotz. You've got 3 receivers to the left side of the field. That's the wide side.
Yeah, they gave him 5 on that. It's going to be 4th and 2.
So here's Ryan Klotz, 5'6" junior. Inside handoff, Lucky. He's got a crease and he's got room before he's dropped inside the 25 at the 24-yard line. It's funny, we've talked about Lance Glover for Elyria and how he kind of picks up steam as he's running the football. Lucky just explodes through the hole. Boom! And he's got, I mean, he was a car commercial. He'd be 0 to 60 in about 2.1. He's just flying as he gets that football.
Well, that's one of the things that Coach Culliver was talking about was on his team, he's got guys that they're able to run the football, and they're going to use them. They're going to be diverse in when they use them and how they use them, but they're going to run the football with them, and they've been doing it tonight.
This time it's Jaden Gilbert. He goes up the middle, and Gilbert showing some explosiveness. Works his way down to the 15-yard line. He may be about a half yard shy of the first. We'll make it 2nd down and less than a yard. We've played half of the 3rd quarter, 6 minutes to go in the period. Elyria looking to add to a 22-0 lead. Ryan Klotz, well, he's had an easy job on this drive. Just hand it off. Klotz fakes the handoff there. Boy, he gets buried at the 15. Nice job defensively for Lorain High. Driving Klotz into the turf was Noah Smith.
So much for that easy job.
Yeah. Klotz may be looking over to the bench saying, listen, it was a lot easier just to hand it off. I got crushed right there.
Coach, can I give it to one of these other guys?
3rd and a yard for Elyria at the Lorain High 15-yard line. Klotz in that pistol formation. Klotz hands off Gilbert. Gilbert tries to break outside. He does. And he got the 1st down and a couple of yards more as he fights to about the 12. And I believe we've got a late flag over on that far side of the field. That's what Devlin Culliver talked about in his halftime chat with Craig Couch. It's gotten chippy, and you just want to have a good, hard-fought but clean football game. And we're going to have a personal foul against Lorain. So we've seen that happen to the Titans a couple of times where they've gotten a little too aggressive after a play has been over. And one of the things that you learn and you're taught, you play hard through the whistle, but once the whistle blows, play's over. So now you've got Elyria High sitting at the Titans' 6-yard line. 1st down and goal for Elyria, leading 22-zip. Elyria with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion right here could put this into a running clock scenario. Elyria with 3 unanswered touchdowns in the 2nd quarter. Palos with an 88-yard reception from Whitfield. Whitfield then ran it in from 13. And then for Elyria, Emery Horton with a 3-yard touchdown run. And again, Whitfield quarterbacked in the second quarter, while Klotz was the QB in the first period, and now Klotz here in the third quarter of play. First and goal from the 6. Klotz now under center. Klotz turns, hands off. That's a new back for Elyria, fighting inside the 5 to about the 4-yard line. Jalen Redmond. They may give him some forward progress to the 3-yard line. That'll make it second down and goal. And Gary, we're getting to the point now where even if you get to the running clock scenario, it won't matter much because Elyria is just taking so much time off the clock on this drive. We're down to 4.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, we haven't had a lot of stoppages, a lot of incompletions or anything like that. They're just running that football and running the clock.
Second down and goal. Handoff again to Jalen Redmond. He's fighting. He's close. Did he get there? Yes, he did. Touchdown, Pioneers. Well, that was some tough running right there from Jalen Redmond. The senior looked like he got bottled up early, but as they also teach you and as you learn, you keep those legs churning, you play through the whistle, and boy, nice job by Redmond. It's now a 28-0 Pioneer lead with 4:16 to go in the third. And here's the 2-point conversion attempt that could make this a running clock situation. Of course, Elyria looking to go to 3-0. They open up Southwestern Conference play next week. And by the way, I think that's awesome. I think that's just fantastic for Elyria and the other schools in the SWC. Elyria next week at Berea Mid-Park. And then they're home to Avon in 2 weeks. Handoff Redmond, spinning, falling forward, and he got in for the 2-point conversion. Well, there you go. It's a 30-0 game with 4:16 to go third quarter. We'll have the running clock when we come back after this in the WEOL Gridiron Clash on AM 930, FM 100.3, and Gary Online
on WEOL.com.
The key to all-season comfort in your home begins when you call Raymond Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Family-owned and operated since 1997.
How many?
Raymond's trained personnel have
2.
been providing trouble-free installation, maintenance, and repair. Right now, their 16-point heating maintenance is just $89. Call soon and stay warm and cozy all winter long. Raymond Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, your key to all-season comfort.
This is Tim Elkhorn, radio voice of the Cleveland Cavaliers, for attorney Will Spiegelberg. Will Spiegelberg is not only a name you know, he's someone you can trust as your attorney no matter the circumstance. Will Spiegelberg is an attorney you can always count on. Will Spiegelberg is the attorney you should contact for all your legal work. When you need an attorney, call Will Spiegelberg at 216-233-4240. Attorney Will Spiegelberg, a great teammate. 216-233-4240.
WEOL, Elyria, Lorain, Medina.
You're listening to the WEOL Gridiron Clash.
Elyria now with a 30-0 lead. By the way, that last touchdown for the Pioneers puts more money in the coffers for Second Harvest Food Bank, as the Second Harvest Touchdowns to Tackle Hunger was brought to you by Jamie's Carpet Shop. You can visit them in Elyria, Sandusky, and Amherst, or have them bring the showroom to you. Jamie's Carpet Shop. Great, great folks. Kickoff brought to you by Eco Tree Services, as Elyria sends it down to the 15-yard line, out to the 20, and drop at about the 21 is Javon Williams. So now we're going to have this running clock. Or does it start on this play? Or I thought it started on the kickoff. 4:10 to go. Third quarter, 30-0. Elyria leading Lorain. Don't forget, tomorrow morning, 9 to 11, Nick Abraham's Saturday Sports Wrap-Up. Jared Kozar, Marissa McNeese. They'll be in from 9 to 11, recapping all the action from tonight, bringing you some highlights, winning coach interviews. I have to say, I do miss that show. I really do. That was a lot of fun. The alarm could be tough on a Saturday morning sometimes. And then, of course, when the first person you see is Jared Kozar on a Saturday morning, that could jar you as well. But after that, we had fun.
You get it backed up with Cam.
Yes. Challenging. Very, very challenging. And on a play that, boy, didn't look to go anywhere, dropped at about the 18-yard line, is the running back for Lorain. I'm trying to see if that was a new back or if that was Wyatt. Loss of about 5 will make it 2nd down and 15. With Lorain High, you'll take progress in small chunks, and I'm sure that's the way that Damian Creel will look at this, because they had a scoreless first quarter. Wyatt back to pass, fires over the middle, and it's intercepted. 20, 15, 10, 5, stretching for the pylon, and out or in? I don't see the official indication.
Well, Ivy's calling a touchdown.
I think we might have a pick 6. I guess we do, from Jalen Brown. Jalen Brown with the pick 6 for Elyria. Gary, I was looking at the official right at the pylon. I thought he might put the arms up. He didn't, but as you said, Al Ivy. Let's hope he doesn't get someone mad.
Al Ivy was standing at the midfield on the goal line in all his glory, signaling touchdown.
So there we go. Jalen Brown, pick 6 for the Pioneers. Boy, big Jalen, 6'3" senior. He headed right to that left pylon, and he outstretched the football. I thought they might call him out like inside the 1. It was close over there. And, of course, that's another donation to Second Harvest Food Bank in our touchdowns to tackle hunger. And I guess that was a pick 6 for hunger as Jalen Brown. Gibby, what'd you have on the distance on that one? About roughly. Boy, Tim has been deadly accurate with his stats all night long. Yeah, it's in the neighborhood. So we'll call that one, about 32 yards on the interception return for Jalen Brown. So it's all Elyria now.
And even with the running clock, they haven't run a whole lot of clock off of it.
No, because we've had the kickoffs, and of course you don't have the running clock during the kickoff situations. It's going to be a very happy Pioneer bus ride back to Elyria. As Devlin Culliver, he certainly was a guy that had a challenge on his hands as well, because the Elyria football program had really sunk. And Devlin was brought in to turn things around. And boy, Elyria High now 3-0 for the first time in what Tim says is, well, a few years. 5, 6, 7, something like that. That's another one of those accurate numbers from Tim Gebhardt.
It's been a while.
Gebby, how long's it been? 5, 6, 7.
He says he has that information at home, and I could pretty much guarantee you'll hear it very soon.
Well, you have to ask him where he lives. Well, somewhere north side, up there on a street. 37-zip. Elyria with the lead. Kickoff brought to you by Eco Tree Services. End-over-end kick fielded at the 20-yard line. Ooh, nice hit at the 30, but busting off the hit. And now with some room to the left, out over the 40 to about the 43-yard line for Lorain High is Javon Williams. Boy, he took a good pop, and he spun right out of it. Some toughness there from Williams. And Lorain will have good field position when looking for their first points of the night. Let's head down to the sideline, get an update with Craig Couch. Craig, what do you have for us?
Yeah, Tim, earlier before kickoff, we were trying to figure out the last time Elyria started the season 3-0, and certainly looks like they're going to accomplish that here tonight. But think about this as well. When was the last time the Elyria High Pioneers had a real identity as a football team? I think they have one now, and it's run the football, stop the run. That's what they've been doing all night tonight. And they are on their way to starting the season 3-0 for the first time in, 5 or 6 years.
Maybe 7. Tim does know that it was under Kevin Fell that the last time the Pioneers were a 3-0 football team. Like Kevin, one of the real characters as far as high school football coaches this area has seen, but We enjoyed him immensely on WEOL. He was brutally honest, very frank, and Kevin was a great quote, but I'll tell you what, he was also a tremendous coach. He really did good things at Elyria, and really anywhere he's been, they've had winning football programs. So,
how'd you like to have a conversation between Kevin Fell and Al Ivey?
Someone's going to get mad. 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line. Joseph Wyatt still in at quarterback for Lorain High. Inside handoff goes to Gonzalez. Not much there, as Craig just said. Elyria with an identity. I think Craig makes a great point right there. Every coach wants to have an identity for their football team. You know, what will be a Devlin Culliver team? At some point, what will be a Damian Creel team? You know, a Kevin Fell team. Each team has an identity, and they take on the identity of their coach. Handoff goes to Creel. Creel left side, and he got hemmed in but broke through and get some tough yardage out to the 45-yard line. Again, running clock, although right now Lorain High keeping the ball on the ground anyway. We're down to 2 minutes to go, third quarter of play. It's all Elyria after a scoreless first quarter. Elyria with 22 in the second quarter of play, and now 15 more here in the third. They lead it 37-0. So Elyria is going to break their 3-game losing streak to Lorain High in this rivalry. Here's Joseph Wyatt on a third down play at the 45-yard line. Wyatt hands off Gonzalez, following blockers, and Gonzalez gets out to the midfield stripe. Dropped at the 50-yard line. He'll be a couple of yards shy of the first down. Let's see what Lorain High elects to do right here. Trailing 30, well, they're going to say he's down at the 49. It'll be about 4 yards for the first, but you know what? If you're Damian Creel right here, you've had problems with your punting game. Gary, I talked about the fact we watched them warm up before the contest, and they were struggling there. You've seen some issues tonight. Let your guys go for it. See what they do. Here's Wyatt to the left, and what he does is pick up the first down as he bounces into the Elyria bench at about the 46-yard line. He got the first.
Well, that time, Tim, that was a definitive fake to the right, and he took it to the left himself around the left end and picked up about 6 yards. He needed 4. He got 5-6 yards and moved the chains and give us a first down to Lorain.
And again, that's the type of play that Damian Creel needs and this team needs to build the program. You have to be able to show episodes of success where things went well. And there's one right there. 4th down play against a tough Elyria defense. You got the first. And now on the ensuing play, inside handoff to Gonzalez. He cuts it back and slices his way down to the 40-yard line. So there's some good things happening right now for Lorain. Their line has been able to kind of push Elyria back on the past couple of plays. We're down to 15 seconds to go in the third. And Damian Creel may elect to let the clock run out right here. Let's see if they get one more play off. 6, 5, 4, 3. Wyatt gets the snap with 2. Wyatt under a rush. Hangs it deep down the right side. And it's intercepted. Oh, what a tremendous pick made for Elyria by Mo McCree. Oh, what a play. Boy, Gary, you couldn't defend that any better, as basically, to use a basketball term, he boxed out the receiver and just didn't let him get to the football, and then he stepped right in front and made the interception.
Well, Tim, we've seen Elyria a couple times with the Elyria Catholic game. This game, I've been very impressed with their defensive backs both games, Tim.
And that ends the third quarter of play. So the Pioneers will have the football and a 37-0 lead when we come back for the fourth quarter at George Daniel in the WEOL Gridiron Clash on WEOL and Gary Online.
On WEOL.com.
Let's get
Looking for the fastest and most affordable way to a bachelor's or master's degree? Lorain County Community College offers more than 100 general education classes that easily transfer to any college or university. And our university partnership gives you a direct path to the degree you want from the college of your choice. The best part? You can save up to $74,000. Save time, save money, get ahead. Make this your year. Enroll today.
Get back in the game of life faster after illness or injury at any of Life Care's 3 locations, Medina, Elyria, or Westlake. The expert therapy staff is ready to champion your recovery while strictly observing all CDC COVID-19 safety guidelines. The Advanced Rehab to Home program defines your specific physical, occupational, and speech therapy goals to help you succeed. Life Care Center of Medina, Elyria, and Westlake, your champions of care. Find us at lcca.com.
You're listening to the WEOL Gridiron Clash.
Fourth quarter about to get underway here at George Daniel Field in Lorain. Elyria now going left to right. And we've got a whole bunch of new players in there for the Pioneers. Right there, that's Redmond. He scored a touchdown back in the third quarter of play. But the new quarterback for Elyria High is, if I'm not mistaken, I'm trying to see that number out there. I don't want to say the wrong name. Is that an 18 carry? Is that Derek Rigger? I hope I'm pronouncing that. Oh, it's number 10. I'm sorry. Ethan Heyer. So Ethan Heyer is now in at quarterback for Elyria. 2 straight handoffs. Gets Elyria about 5 yards. That'll make it 3rd down and 5. And again, here in the fourth quarter, the only question is what will be our final score, as Elyria has put this one pretty much in the win column with a lot of football still to be played. 37-zip. Pioneers lead it. Fourth quarter just underway. And again, Ethan Heyer now in at quarterback. Heyer inside handoff. And that's Emery Horton, I think.
He had a very short pickup. It's going to bring up 4th down and probably about almost 3.
And again, with the running clock situation and with a huge lead, as Elyria will punt the football right here. This fourth quarter should go pretty rapidly. So again, for Lorain High, you're looking for progress. You're looking for improvement. And as Damian said before the ball game, speaking of Damian Creel, Lorain High first-year head coach, they are seeing improvement. I mean, you go back to where they were in the spring, or you go back to where they were 2 weeks ago tonight, opening night against Olmsted Falls. I mean, this is a team that was literally starting from scratch. High snap. An end-over-end kick drives Gonzalez back to his own 45-yard line. Gonzalez now heads to the near side, trying to turn the corner, gets to the 50, 45, and runs out of bounds into the Lorain bench at about the 40-yard line. Nice return by Gonzalez. There's been a spark plug tonight for Lorain High.
It's going to come back, Tim. There's a flag down near midfield.
And there's also a Pioneer down on the field. Well, speaking of down on the field, let's go down there right now. Let's check in with Craig Couch, who's done a terrific job field level so far tonight. Craig, what do you have for us on the sideline?
Well, I tell you what, Tim, I'll just build off of what you said about Gonzalez. He definitely has been a spark plug for Lorain, and if Lorain's looking for something positive to take away from the football game, it might be the energy that he's brought to the Lorain Titans here tonight. That's something that maybe the coaching staff will want to build around in the practices to come. And, you know, for the Titans here on out, really all you're trying to do is, again, string together a few positive plays, maybe pick up a couple of first downs, get something good to put on film that you can build on.
Well, it's interesting you say that, Craig, because we've been talking up here, and, of course, you've been also filling in from the sidelines insofar as, you know, looking for positive plays and looking for good things to build on. And I'm sure listeners and, of course, viewers on WLCS TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television, they're saying, well, it sounds like Lorain's basically starting from scratch. And in essence, it's close to that because, again, a year off from football, it's not just 10 football games. I mean, you lose those 40 quarters, but you also lose, you know, 4 times a week times 10 is 40 days plus 2 a day, so you're up to 50, 60 days of practice. You're up to hours and hours of film study. Craig, you mentioned down on the field before the ball game, no playbook to study. And now Damian Creel comes in as a first-year head coach, and it's not like these young kids are inheriting a system from a guy that had been here 15 years. Not that it would have been easy if they had missed a year, but now you've got a new coach who's going to instill a lot of different new things along with the fact that you haven't played in a year. And Pelt, that just makes the challenging so much more difficult.
Well, yeah, it's new coach coming off not playing, and these kids, the kids that did play before, it's a totally different thing for them when they come out there and they line it up. And that's one of the things Coach Creel was talking about, was that in the pregame was that they got to teach a lot of kids things every day that you kind of assume that they knew. And it's like, whatever it may be, but it's like not the football things they planned on teaching them.
So here's Joseph Wyatt still in at quarterback for Lorain High. He's got Gonzalez next to him. He hands off to Gonzalez. Gonzalez tries to break outside to the right, nothing doing, spun down. He may have lost a yard.
And Tim, if I may, also, to win at the varsity level, you have to have juniors and seniors with experience. Now think about this. This year's seniors for Lorain haven't played since their sophomore year. This year's juniors for Lorain haven't played since they were freshmen. So they missed. I mean, when you start to peel the onion a little bit, you find out just how devastating losing one season can be.
Absolutely. No, that's a great point. It's for your veteran players, that's a critical year. To your point, Craig, that developmental year from a freshman to a sophomore or from a sophomore to a junior. Inside handoff, Gonzalez, as I said, he's been a nice spark tonight for Lorain High as he scampers out over the 40 to the 41-yard line. Pickup of 7. We'll make it a 3rd down and 4. We're down to 8:20 to go in the football game. It's all Elyria. After a scoreless first quarter, Elyria with 37 unanswered. It's a 37-0 Pioneer lead. Don't forget, after the ball game, the Nick Abraham Saturday Sports Wrap-Up. The Nick Abraham post-game show. Boy, Chuck and Wendell are on so many things, which is a great thing for WEOL and our listeners. It's the Nick Abraham post-game show following the ball game. Tomorrow morning's that Nick Abraham wrap-up. There's a handoff and diving forward to about the 41-yard line for no gain on the play was Gonzalez. That'll make it 4th down and about 4. But Gary, the other point, and I'm sure, again, listeners, perhaps viewers on WLCS, they're saying, well, a lot of the starters are still in there for Lorain High. Well, these guys need game experience. So the more reps you can get them, the more snaps you can get them, the more looks at a defense, or now as they punt the ball away, the more looks they can see when they're on defense. All that is critical to trying to get this program back on track. There's a wobbly snap back. That kick is almost blocked as it heads out of bounds on the Elyria side at about the 40-yard line.
Lorain had a young man coming on the field as the ball was being snapped. It almost looked like there was a guy in motion on the punt team. But nonetheless, Lorain at least got the punt off.
So Elyria will have it 1st down and 10 at their own 40-yard line. And again, with the running clock, even though Elyria has huddled up over on their sideline on the far side, it's still running. We're down to 6:40 to go here in the 4th quarter of play. And by the way, I do want to say this is the first time I've had a chance to visit George Daniel Field since the new turf went in, courtesy of the Cleveland Browns. It actually went in 2019, but with my hiring by the Cavaliers in September of 2019, I didn't have a chance to do a Lorain game that year. Boy, it is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Inside handoff for Lorain, for Elyria.
Yeah, I didn't realize you hadn't seen it.
I have not seen it, and boy, it is just remarkable. It's amazing how many fields, across Lorain County and Northeast Ohio now have the turf. I'm not sure we're majority turf in Lorain County yet, but it's close. It might be 50-50. Oh, what a hit in the backfield as dropped after a short gain. I believe that was Redmond. Nope, it wasn't. It was Stephen Gilbert. Gilbert dropped at the 45. I know there's 16 high schools in Lorain County that play high school football. We've got to be up to about 8 or 9 now with the turf. Right? Got Elyria, Lorain, Elyria Catholic, Avon Lake, Midview, North Ridgeville. How many did I just rattle off right there? There's another inside handoff. Some nice running there from Steve Gilbert. He's only a freshman as he got down to the Lorain High 45-yard line.
Oh, about 6, 7.
Right.
Somewhere there. See. Ask Gilbert. He knows.
Avon Lake, Midview, North Ridgeville. That's 7 right there. Gebby, 6, 7, 8. Turf fields, Lorain County. Geb says that's accurate. There's a handoff again to the freshman, Stephen Gilbert. So remember this young man's name because you're looking at a future running back for the Pioneers, Stephen Gilbert. Freshman has gotten 3 straight handoffs as we're down to 4.5 minutes to go. Ball still at the 45-yard line. 2nd down and 10. Elyria High with a 3-0 start to the season. Berea Mid-Park to open up Southwestern Conference play next Friday night. Lorain, after their home opener tonight, will lick their wounds and head on the road next Friday. They're at Bedford. Here's another new back for the Pioneers. Boy, that's big Kevin Jordan. 195 pounds out of that backfield, and the big fella slams his way for a yard, maybe 2 to the 43. And I'll tell you what, I like this right here from Devlin Culliver. Giving some guys an opportunity to play, but running basic plays. Doesn't want to rub it in on Lorain High or do anything fancy. But on the same token,
getting his guys some experience out there.
Guys, as we just talked about with Lorain, getting them reps. There's nothing like varsity reps. Inside handoff. Oh, the big fella bounces outside. Jordan to the 30, to the 25, and the big freshman finally pushed out of bounds. Boy, he had a head of steam going. And Jordan takes it all the way down to the 20-yard line. Now think about that. Here's a young kid that was watching from the sidelines all night long. And Jordan now probably has a big grin on his face down in that huddle.
Yeah, big 25-yard pickup after his first play, ran right into the line of scrimmage.
So Elyria now at the 20-yard line. They're in the Titan red zone. As the quarterback, Ethan Heyer, hands off and down to about the 15-yard line. Goes Jordan again. Well, they may try to reward Jordan right here. Kevin Jordan, 195-pound freshman. Well, he's gassed. Three running plays for Jordan. He's trotting to the sideline. Saying, Coach, let's get Baker in there. Larico Baker, a sophomore now, checks in. So Jordan got his 3 carries. And with the ball at the 15-yard line, Heyer now awaits the snap. Ooh, it was wide right, but he was able to snag it. Now he's going to run to the right, and forget about that. He's plowed under at the 17-yard line. It's coming up to make the stop for Lorain High was one of their guys that we haven't seen too much of this year, or excuse me, tonight, Jerry Martin.
And the only good thing about that was they really didn't lose any yardage.
Although we do have a flag on the play. We mentioned a running clock scenario, but when you have a flag, they will stop it for that. Although once they set that football, they'll wind it again.
Well, there's that lost yardage.
Ball goes all the way back to the 25-yard line. As again, for Elyria, Heyer is now the quarterback. Heyer, inside handoff, dancing for some yardage, busting outside. 10, 5, and in for the touchdown, I believe was Baker. Oh, they're going to call him out. They're going to say his foot went out at the 2. Boy, it looked like Baker had got to that pylon. Boy, that heel must have touched the 2 because, Gary, I thought he kept it in.
Well, he did a nice job of running down the field, running down the sideline, but yeah, he must have just nipped it on that right side, and the official was right on it.
Well, the clock's still running, but Elyria High with a chance to put one more on the board. as Elyria High's sophomore quarterback, Ethan Heyer, heads over to the bench. He's got Baker right next to him as Heyer is in the pistol. Ball to right hash mark. They give it to Baker. Baker spun and dropped at the 4. Lorain's High says, nah, maybe not. We're not going to let you get that one final score. As we're now under 40 seconds to go in the football game in a running clock situation. Fans emptying out. I think I just heard behind me, Oberlin with a win tonight, 21-20. Good news for the Phoenix as they get a victory on a Friday night. They give it to Baker one more time. Baker tries to shed one tackle and two. He can't. And that will be the final play of the football game. So Elyria can't punch it in on the final possession. Well, they're going to walk out of George Daniel Field with a win under their belt. Final score, Pioneers 37, Lorain High nothing. With the win, Elyria goes to 3-0 on the year. With the loss, Lorain drops to 0-3 on the campaign. Pioneers win it 37-zip. We'll be back. We'll wrap it all up on the